Hello and welcome to Breakfast Central. It's Tuesday, day 2 in a new working week, and we hope that your week has started off on a very good note right from yesterday. Today, a lot has happened from the world of news and current affairs in Nigeria. The NNPCL finally says they want to restart the Port Harcourt refinery. What happened to the turnaround maintenance funds or fees or money that was spent initially on the Port Harcourt Warri refinery? Is it gone? Now they're about to start again with a Chinese company. Well, that's a big story to look into. But besides that, there are cases that are indeed pending before the court. And we do hear that the NDC has a new enemy who has cropped up from nowhere all of a sudden as soon as Peter Gregory announced his defection alongside engineer Rabiu Kwankwaso. It seemed like the opposition are indeed in for some tough times. Well, don't take my words for it, like we always say here on Breakfast Central. The stories will lead. I am Joe Hansen saying good morning. How are you doing, Binga Aburuwa?
Very well, thank you. And like you said, so many things happening in the political scene, on the political scene, and here at Breakfast Central, we do examine all of it and dissect. Wow, it's less than 24 hours since Peter Gregory Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso announced their movement to the new political bride, the latest bride in town. And as expected, drama has followed suit. We'll look at the new developments and more on today's show. We're happy to be here. We're complete. The complete team is here. And Olive is very, very excited to be here this morning because she's been on set for the last 30 minutes, raring to go. I've never seen somebody with so much commitment and passion to a job. And I take a leave for my dedication. Over to you, Olive.
Are you taking a leave for me because my name is Olive?
Wow.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to our incredible audience for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central. The drama continues, its story upon story. The past 24 hours have been quite heated with the arguments for and against Peter Obi and his decision to leave the ADC for the NDC. And, you know, the APC seems to be very pissed by this. I saw Daniel Boala's tweet and I found that very interesting, you know, the statements that were being made there. Everyone just wants Peter Obi to be framed a certain type of way. But we'll look into the details of this story in a bit. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hello, gentle lady.
Gentle lady, name your making fighter. Oh, my goodness.
Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbors.
It's good to be
morning.
here. Tuesday.
Good morning. What's the name of that film?
It's Tuesday. A lot is happening. But on our wake-up conversation, I think it's good for us to start off with a story that has garnered so much eyeballs. It's one that's got to do with the Federal High Court in Abuja has actually remanded Mark Chidiebere Justice, popularly known as Justice Crack, in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS. Now, he was arraigned on a 3-count charge bordering on alleged cybercrime, breach of public peace, and felony, to which he pleaded not guilty following the arraignment. Counsel, by the way, I beg your pardon, counsel to the DSS, Mark Oruba, urged the court to remand the defendant in the DSS custody in the interest of public security. Now, just in case you're wondering what may have happened or what may have occurred, Justice Crack, as he calls himself, had a chat with men of the armed forces, the military, who were actually at the forefront of the war fighting insurgency. And in that conversation, he did decide to bring it to the public, where, while speaking with the men of the men in the uniform, they mentioned that they're not well fed, and pictures were taken of the meals that they are fed with. And a total of, as alleged, about 3,000 naira or so is what they are being given to take care of themselves. And this blew the internet away because everyone was wondering, listen, budgets are being passed. I mean, that's it on the screen there. Take a look at what they're being fed. Sachet of milk powder and chocolate, and then look at the cooler of rice. I mean, and then there's a nylon there, and then you wonder, okay, fine. If a soldier eats this with 1 egg and beef, he's expected to, be strong. And so, but But then again, let's watch this video first, because this is what started the entire drama.
Look at the food that your soldiers are eating. I uploaded a video few hours ago. It never even reached 1 hour. A military personnel sent me this picture. This is what the Nigerian army, the Nigerian government are feeding our soldiers in Maiduguri morning, afternoon, and night. Look at that rice. One small rice like that. Look at the small gari. And look at that soup that look like vomit. This is what they feed the people that are defending Nigeria. This is the food they give to people who are facing terrorists every day, whereby we're in a country that the federal government is spending 604 million naira to rehabilitate the radicalized terrorists. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm saying that the terrorism we're still facing in Nigeria today is as a result of Nigerian government pampering terrorists. We're in a country where the government is treating the terrorists better than the military. How can you feed a military personnel this? No wonder most of them end up falling sick. They look malnourished. How would they even have strength to even carry the gun, to even face the terrorists? How would they even face the bandits? How would they face all the Boko Haram when they don't even eat well? It's not even that their salary is that much that they're okay, they can buy food by themselves. You are paying somebody below 200,000 naira and you're feeding the person like a prisoner. How can you be feeding somebody like a prisoner? Look at the food we are giving to them. Look at it. This guy sent me this picture and I asked, what's this picture? He said, this is what they feed them morning, afternoon, and night in Maiduguri. If you know Maiduguri, you know that is the hub of insecurity in Nigeria. Those guys face death every day. They do the worst every day. But look at what they're feeding them. I mean, in a country that the government is budgeting, not budgeting, they've spent 604 million naira to de-radicalize, to reintegrate terrorists. Where did they pamper terrorists? But the people that are defending our borders, the people who are defending our citizens, the people who are defending the country, they know they treat them well. Look at it yourself. Now tell me, with this kind of picture, with this kind of treatment, how do you expect Nigerian citizens to join army? How do you expect those who, the younger ones, to join army? How do you expect them to fight for their country? They should fight with honor. They should fight with dignity. They should fight knowing that they are defending their country. How would they fight?
So that's the video that started it all, that led to his arrests. However, there were stories flying around on social media that he was missing. And questions were asked, especially to the Nigerian military and the DSS, if they were responsible for his whereabouts. And there seemed to be silence until a few days later, while his friends decided to, go on his search, and they discovered that his car was parked somewhere in the military base. Aside that, they also discovered that his last point of call where he was picked up from. Bottom line, he was arraigned before the court yesterday, and videos indeed were circulating. News Central was there and were able to also capture some of the scenes, which would also put there on the screen. But the Nigerian military has come out with a statement. It did come out with a statement over the weekend after admitting that, yes, let me just quickly read through while you see him. That's him there on the screen. And they said the attention of the Nigerian military was drawn to the complaint made by some soldiers regarding their feeding and other matters related to their welfare, as posted on social media by a blogger, social media influencer, Mark Chidiebere, also known as Justice Crack. Now, while the matter is being investigated for the breach of the Armed Forces social media policy and an attempt to misinform the public, preliminary report reveals that the soldiers discussed a wide range of issues with Justice Chidiebere, who seemed to be inciting soldiers to create discontent within the system. An example was a chat bordering on subversion, which Chidiebere had with the soldiers. It is important to state that the situation where civilians cultivate vulnerable personnel towards acts of subversion has far-reaching implications on discipline and national security. Hence, Justice Chidiebere was picked by the Nigerian army alongside the soldiers for investigation. While the soldiers remain in own custody, Chidiebere has been handed over to the relevant civil authorities for further investigation and possible prosecution. The Nigerian army remains committed to the rule of law and will continue to collaborate with relevant agencies to ensure justice is served. We'll continue to act with the ambits of the law in safeguarding our sovereignty. Signed, Apollinia Anile, Colonel, Acting Director, Army, Public Relations. And this was put out over the weekend, as rightly said, on the 2nd of May 2020.
I think it's also important for us to mention what the charges against Justice Chidiebere are.
Yes. That was also mentioned.
Yeah, so there were 3 charges.
Yeah.
Count one, it says that you, I'm not going to read the initial, but that you, Chidiebere Justice Mark, adult male of, his address, on the 28th day of April 2026 in Abuja, within the jurisdiction of this honorable court, did circulate information to the public through your ex-social media, Justice Crack, regarding alleged inadequate feeding of Nigerian Army personnel, which the said information to be false, but posted it for the purpose of causing annoyance, ill will, and hatred, especially among the citizens who hold divergent views, and thereby committed an offense contrary to and punishable under Section 24, subsection 1, paragraph B of the Cybercrimes Prohibition Prevention Act 2015 as amended. Recall that this Section 24 has been one that has been contested. Remember the time Showore and a number of activists went to protest? It was the same Section 24, because the question is, how do you interpret Section 24? And the fears that Section 24 will be used, Section 24 in the hands of the wrong person can be used
and we've seen
wrongfully.
it used
Right.
arbitrarily.
Okay, then count two, they said that that he did publish and circulate a viral video and accompanying statements concerning the Nigerian Army through his social media, which generated widespread negative public reactions and likely to cause fear and breach of peace, and thereby committed an offense contrary to and punishable under Section 59 of the Criminal Code Act. And the third one is that he did attempt to commit felony to wit, publishing and circulating a derogatory video and accompanying statements concerning the Nigerian Army, which generated widespread public reactions and likely to cause fear and breach of peace, and thereby committed an offense contrary to and punishable under Section 509 of the Criminal Code Act. Now, what does Section 24, subsection 1B says? It criminalizes the sending of messages that are grossly offensive, pornographic, or of an indecent, obscene, or menacing character, or that cause annoyance, ill will, and hatred. Like we said, this has been one of the most abused and has the potential to be the most abused because, and that's why we had a lot of, yes, it's subject to interpretation. Count two, Section 59 of the Criminal Code, the issue here is the effect of its publication will generate widespread public reaction, negative public reaction. But there's also the Section 39 of the Constitution that guarantees freedom of speech. The question is whether that statement being made was the truth. It was not intentionally made to, defame any person. Did he have evidence to substantiate what was said? And even if you come out and say, okay, it generated widespread public reaction, is that the format in which an arrest of a citizen should be made? Not a terrorist, not a member of the armed forces, a civilian citizen should be made, right? So the question is, again, it goes back to what he was saying in the video. Many have argued about the way in which certain people are being treated is almost like selective form of justice.
Yes, and the resources used for this. Absolutely, this is a non-issue as far as I'm concerned. It's just some overzealous army personnel that felt abused. And luckily for him, we operate in a system that would even allow this young man to be detained for more than 48 hours.
He should not be detained for more than... Is it a security concern?
Yes,
a security
is it a security concern? And what is most annoying is this is happening at a time when, bandits don't even cover their faces anymore. They're showing wads of cash, Ghana must go, showing spills of their illegal activities in the open. That could be geotagged, geolocated, and it seems like nothing is being done about this. I recall I did an episode of Which Way Nigeria on the welfare of army personnel.
Yes.
And this happened immediately after the current Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oloyede, increased the ration cash allowance for troops from 1,500 to 3,000 naira. And I said, look, it's a step in the right direction, but that 3,000 naira is still inadequate. He didn't tell any lies. The only part where I felt, it was exaggerating, and maybe that's because of the trust deficit and public perception, is that, terrorists are more pampered than military personnel. But that aside,
Hyperbole.
it's not, yeah, it's an hyperbole, and it doesn't, this is not a criminal offense. Why would you, the way he was arrested, he was missing for days, and
No
then the
statements.
time of the court, yes, because this is absolutely time wasting, it's irrelevant. He's trying to bring, we talk about it every day, that we don't have to wait till Armed Forces Remembrance Day on January 15th to appreciate the sacrifice that our men and officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces are doing to secure our country. It's almost like a thankless job. So he was basically highlighting and bringing to public knowledge the welfare and condition of our troops, but apparently the Army High Command and those
They didn't take it lightly.
They didn't take it lightly, and that's why
they've linked it to subversion. They said it's basically a clear case of
inciting.
Inciting.
How is it
trying to
inciting?
undermine, the military. The officers too were also caught. They were also brought.
The soldiers that he was
soldiers, rather.
communicating with.
The soldiers have also, they said his phone was seized. They were going through his messages to ensure that more was not said. Don't forget that this is coming off the heels of a planned coup, which, of course, you have the coup plotters or the coupists who are also in court. They were in court yesterday.
Closed-door trial.
Or closed-door trial, of which two of the members attested to the fact that, yes, they were aware that a coup was supposed to ensue. But in all of this, whether we like it or not, Nigerians have pointed to one grave fact, and the grave fact is this, and I just want to share. The grave fact is, this is someone who spoke. Yes, we understand that there are two ways to look at it. This may be some form of, it may subvert. It may lead to chaos. It may lead to internal disgruntled.
The army is a professional
so
and highly disciplined organization. I don't think...
So they've looked at that and said, okay, fine. Two, how they handled it is where I also have a problem. I think there's nothing wrong in inviting the individual. Oh, we've seen your videos. Okay, the Nigerian army would like to meet with you or the DSS. And this borders on what people have been saying. What is the DSS's, in quotes, job? Is it just to... These are social... there are more important things. And then the third point is what everyone is worried about. You just said it. You have bandits. You have people who are showing their faces on TikTok. You have people who are... We had someone who came on the show here and said they were going to deliver payment of ransom to get someone free. And that where these guys are is not far off from where the checkpoints are. And they mentioned the location, they stated everything. We did not see any advancement to approach that was made to apprehend these ones and then take them to court. And it's just also a Nigerian thing that, when I say Nigerian thing, it's something that, we see issues, we escalate, we shout. Every Nigerian will shout, So it's not just budging on the shouting, it's now on the institution, the government institution, to now act. And that's where I think that's where the issue really is.
And Olive, I believe we need to do something about this cybercrime law because it's been abused so many times.
We need to actually discuss it.
Any sort of criticism
so,
can be tagged
that's the concern.
Cyber stalking.
That's the concern here, right? If we're looking at, because if you go back to the count, when I was reading the first count, they did say that he published false information, knowing same to be false, meaning there was a mental intent to publish false information. But I also believe that they are soldiers
the
that have
daily ration allowance
they even have
naira. So
admitted to soldiers complaining. So at the end of the day, if you say that there are soldiers that are somewhat disgruntled or are displeased, that maybe gives credence to what he has said. So unless they can prove beyond reasonable doubt that, yes, Nigerian soldiers are properly taken care of, Nigerian soldiers, are pleased. They're not in any way displeased by the state of their welfare, and that none of them really reached out to him to complain, then that can fly. The second thing I would like to say again is, let's imagine, okay, everything, yes, he did publish information that was false, that was insightful, or whatever. There is a procedure for arrest. You arrest him, you bring him, you collect your data, gather your information, build your case, arrest him, bring him before a court of competent jurisdiction, try him, keeping him in detention with the DSS for how many weeks? It's not
palatable.
it violates his rights.
Sad.
It violates
It's
his rights.
sad.
There's no really,
It's sad.
there's no better way to put it.
And then we must say it the way it is. And then you have those who have campaigned, eventually. Anyway, let's see. Let's go to the court. Let's see what happened yesterday. Let's just see some of the clips. And while some of his friends were trying to talk to him, I mean, his demeanor also speaks a lot. Take a look.
My friend, our father, a very close one. Justice Crack. Are you doing? Very good. Well, you don't reduce it.
You're fine.
What's going on?
Shameless country, shameless people. Shameless people. I said I don't be. They don't be there. They don't be
to go and do what? No, it doesn't run like that.
But you know, as the Minister of Justice, it's your duty to do justice from wherever you are. Whether you are in Paris, because you are the Minister of Justice of the Federation of Nigeria, you are the Attorney General of the Federation. If it warrants that you take a decision that saves someone's life, are you saying you will not take a decision because you are not in town?
This one does not affect, when you talk of life, everybody is like, even breathing and everything is life. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But on this occasion, I don't see the need for it to take any decision on that merely because I've heard one side, I've not heard the other side. So you have to wait till Wednesday, if need be. That's my decision. I'm sorry, Mr. Shore.
Well, we disagree with you, Minister, but I've heard you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. God bless you.
We would encourage all of you to mobilize massively for Wednesday. We will just take it from there. Let's arrive as early as possible. But we also know that lawyers are making effort to file for bail. I don't like the idea of filing for bail when somebody has not committed an offense.
And they gave him 21 days. The soldier will send pictures, say hungry, they wire them for war front. They dismissed the soldier and let him go. If soldiers are hungry, can they fight? This is the reason why Boko Haram is getting stronger and the insecurity is getting wilder. It's because the soldiers are not well fed.
Well, let's see what Nigerians are saying. Let's see the reaction on X, what Nigerians are saying about that particular situation. On X, Black Melanin says, I never thought a day will come in this country where a civilian will be arrested for speaking about the food given to the Nigerian army. Please get your PVC, he says. Chude says, Justice Crack's only crime is asking the government to pay the soldiers well and feed the ones in camp well. That's all. That is why they are prosecuting him like this. Who knows what they do to him? They tried the young man up within a week. Oh, they dried him up within a week. All the lawmakers are silent about this. What kind of country is this? Another one, Vivian says, free Justice Crack and free Chidiebere. She says, Justice Crack's only crime was speaking up for the well-being of the army. That's what Vivian says. Another one says, such a shame. What is happening to Justice Crack? As the silencing of truth is evil, all the consequences of bad leadership All these, I beg your pardon, are consequences of bad leadership. These evils happen in countries where you have bad, inhuman, insane leadership. Africans need to wake up and stand for good, incorruptible leadership. Another one says, Nigerians are yet to come to self-realization. They don't know if it's me or them tomorrow, how impunity system of government operates. Olawale ideology speaks. But that's all we're going to take on that story as we get to move to another wake-up conversation.
I do want to take comments from YouTube as well. Okay. We're streaming live on YouTube, New Central TV Live. Go there, drop your comment on the stories, and we'll get your reactions. Alexandra says, Nigeria is a joke. Mr. Johnson says, it is well with Nigeria. I don't have much to say on the issue.
Mr. Johnson is afraid of
He's afraid. Najason says, good morning. I will not say anything concerning Nigerian army so that I will not be arrested too. They are very good in tracking innocent citizens, but turn a blind eye when it comes to terror.
Yeah, I said something. No.
But that's all that we can take on that story. Let's now move to...
I want to say much, but I'm having sore throat.
My dear. Let's move on to our next story quietly. Joy Ezeugwu, a nurse at Wani General Hospital in Enugu State, shared a video of a deteriorating condition at the facility, and she was yesterday arrested by the Nigerian police. Joy was reportedly arrested by a team from Police Force Headquarters Annex Enugu. An educationist, Alex Onya, disclosed the development in a post on his X handle on Monday. According to the post, police officers were sent by the administrator of her former school at Enugu College of Nursing, Ifeyinwa Peace Okudu. The nurse was initially suspended in April after her viral video highlighting deteriorating conditions at the facility, including the absence of electricity and running water. The video gained traction on social media and captured health workers expressing frustration over the challenging environment. Workers in the video were visibly lamenting that the lack of basic amenities was affecting their ability to deliver adequate care, particularly during emergencies. Following the release of this video, Okudu, in a letter cited by the Daily Post, demanded 10 million naira in damages from Joy Ezeugwu over an alleged violation of privacy rights. This development elicited lots of reactions and outrage from Nigerians, and with the help of Alex Onya, we were told that Joy was later released yesterday.
Well, I think we should take a look at the video that started this whole thing. And if we have that video, let's put it out there. The young nurse decided to do something. And I think it's high time we clarify this privacy rights issue, this so-called privacy right. Because somebody was dying in a hospital and they reported it and somebody said you don't have the right to report that somebody is dead, or because the hospital is not functioning. There's no light, no water, no nothing.
There's a UNN hostel debacle that is currently going on too.
Cross River as well. 2 students have been shot. And students are talking. They are saying, oh, this is not working. There was an accident as well, and the students took their classmates to hospitals and they were rejected. And some died in the process. And they are there talking about how bad it is. The nurse you see in this video was highlighting, so I don't know if we have that video, she was highlighting some of the key issues in the hospital and saying, look at, there's no light. Let's take a look at the video.
So guys, this is Wani Health General Hospital, and we are the nurses on duty, and it's a night duty, and I can't believe in a hospital like this, there's no water, there's no light. Everywhere is littered, there's no cleaner to clean the place. Like, I'm talking about mosquitoes. The mosquitoes that are here, massive mosquitoes, and it's not good. I don't know what the government are doing about it. They are building
no.
Please, there is a woman in labor, like currently in labor. And there's no light. And there's no light. Like, so what if there's complication? What do we do? Or are you get her incubator? I don't understand. It's very poor of a general hospital.
No oxygen,
like there's no oxygen. There's no light to even give birth to a child.
Let's just say oxygen. This is a secondary thing, but at least the primary things that a hospital is supposed to have.
Water.
They don't have it. No water.
No water.
No good environment.
Environment.
No cleaners to clean it. That's poor. And I mean, I see government. How you guys helping us?
Guys, look around.
There's no light.
Everywhere is dark.
And I heard a snake. Oh God.
They don't fumigate here. Nothing. Mosquitoes.
Everywhere is very.
This place is not even conducive
for human beings.
For human beings to do anything.
One health center.
One health center.
Somewhere like here has been sleeping. Like
So this is kind of similar to the first story in a way that we took. Now, in this case, Joy Ezeugwu served as the whistleblower. It's just that she did not hide her own identity, highlighting structural deficiencies in a medical facility. And as a result, she's having to pay the ultimate price. So who should pay the ultimate price? In situations like this, when a person comes out to highlight the poor state of maybe government-owned facilities in terms of healthcare or education, the response to defamation or the defense to defamation is truth. Was what she said, was there an iota of lie told in what she said? Was there a lie told there? Did we not all see the darkness? Or did she go and turn off all the lights to make the video? Can we say that the health center was one that, could boast of quality equipment, could boast of electricity, and, it wasn't a risk to be treated there? But that's what you get, unfortunately, in a system where actions seem to not have consequences. Because if somebody raises an alarm like that, and your response to them is to sue them, to set the law rolling against them, you prosecute them, you take them you arrest them. It's a shame.
This is absolutely shameful and disgraceful, and I'm shocked to say the least. It's counterintuitive. When such a situation happens, you should be embarrassed to fixing it immediately. And those girls, those ladies are heroes for having the mind and the bravery to speak out against a dysfunctional system. I remember when I came back to Nigeria from university, I had what is called reverse culture shock, because I started wondering, why do you people allow all of these things? This is not normal. This is not right. But you get so accustomed to it that it becomes a part of you. And look at the environment of the College of Nursing. Look at the landscaping, no light. And we're talking basics here. Nobody's saying being an MRI machine or AI scanners and things like that. Just basics, electricity and water, the barest minimum. And there was a lady in labor there. So it's really sad that you persecute people for speaking the truth, for highlighting some of these anomalies so that they can be fixed. You think the ladies are happy to risk their careers and speak in front of a camera? It's because nothing has been done. I'm sure the facilities there have been in that state for so long, and everybody just goes on. And that's why Nigeria has found itself in the situation we're in now. And to the politicians and the decision makers and the government officials, they're always so happy, I don't know who you're trying to impress, airports, groundbreaking ceremony for airports. They like airports. They like commissioning
roads that have not been finished.
Bridges, and then the basic things, health facilities that sustain life. You ignore it.
It's simply because they have when leaders have access to fly out of the country at any given time, because they have access, they have money, so they can fly out. I was expecting that when this video surfaced online, the governor or the commissioner of health will, of course, let's be honest, you don't like the way the girls may have said it. You felt, they should have gone through the authority. But then again, you can acknowledge them and say, we have seen this video. We are aware of the situation of things. While we will condemn public so and so, we want to use this medium to assure the people that a meeting has been summoned with so and so and so and so and so.
There's nothing like condemning public.
However,
this thing.
I'm just even trying to help them to even mention that, in as much as you want to protect your ego. However, you just make it clear and act. Now, concerning the girls, why would you arrest her? Why?
What crime has she committed?
What crime has she committed?
And why is the Nigerian police such a useful institution?
They're saying that what she did is against civil service rules.
Please.
That there's a manner in which reports are being made. But what we've seen in Nigeria is that
when you follow that manner, you report, it doesn't work.
It's when you follow the unofficial channels like social media. The most change, unfortunately, the most change that we have gotten in our country in many situations is when the matter has come out to public knowledge. It's almost like they know they should fix this thing, but they don't fix it because no one is making any noise about it. But the moment they realize that their secret has become a public discourse, then they fix it. The issues highlighted in this video by Joy and her colleague were fixed. So it took these women coming to speak about this publicly for them to be fixed. And now not only have they been taking off their duties, they are now being sued. But I want to take some reactions on X, but I'll start with YouTube, head to X, and then come back to YouTube. Media Judges says, again, it says under Tinubu's administration, they don't want anyone to speak up, especially when things are not right. The end result of speaking up is getting arrested.
You remember the newspaper?
Yeah. Mark Chidiebere says, everything is wrong with this country. Any complaint against any institution of government and also reviews of products lands you behind bars. Where are we going?
Are we a
Terrible
state?
I don't understand.
Media Judge says they're just silencing people speaking up. What a shame. Right? At the end of the day, anyway, let's head to
it's not even institutions too. If you review products, they're like...
I wonder what the FCCPC is really doing on that issue as well. That's another conversation we should have.
Terrible.
Let's see what
Mark Chidiebere for highlighting that.
Yeah, let's go to X very quickly and see what we have there. On X, Ugulu Conceptions says, what is really happening in our country? It is now becoming a crime to speak out against bad practices, insane crime or climb. People are encouraged and protected to speak out. If we keep quiet and refuse to join in condemning victimization of those who speak out when there is negligence or breach of the rules, it will end up to be accepted as normal. And that's what Benga has highlighted. When he came back, you find out that things that are abnormal are now normal. And that's why you come to the airports and somebody say, "Oga, anything for me?" If you don't give, you are victimized. If it's world, for Nigeria to work, we need to bring back sanity and rule of law. Agreed. Yataro says, communities need to go back to the age of banishing people. Society seems to be falling deeper, I beg your pardon, into a hole since we stopped that. It was to take it back.
If you banish people into evil forest, there's no evil forest.
There's no evil
Deforestation.
Who gets that woman number, beg? Because we need to greet her for all the good things she has been doing. Treat as urgent all her phone lines in Enugu says.
Which one is that?
And lastly, in everything wrong with Nigeria, the Nigerian police force will always be found on the wrong side of things.
So quick to arrest people.
I think the IGP needs to do something. Stop engaging in civil matters.
No, but they cannot stop engaging.
No.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
But how do we determine what is relevant?
Wait, okay, these girls made a statement. There can be a panel.
Is there no human rights desk on?
Is there not a human rights desk? Is there not a civil
this police command?
Come on.
But I think if anything,
why take somebody to arrest? There's also a story in Kwara where that a 16-year-old has been locked up by a commissioner of police somewhere in Kwara State. That story is also on.
So I think my response to this would be say, finally, to the administrator who said that this young woman acted out of order, went against the typical channels, and is now suing for 10 million naira. If the issue is, she has brought shame to the institution, we should have thought of that shame and fixed the problems in the first place.
Simple as
and if
ABC.
the problems were not existing, she would have had nothing to complain about.
And if you check well,
and they would have continued in that trajectory.
And if you check well,
anything about
and if you check well, we're calling on the authorities in that school here on News Central's Breakfast Central. Bring proof of the funds that have been provided to work on those things. Why is it that when they spoke, it's now working? So what were the funds?
Exactly.
What were they doing? Was it somewhere else? Let's see what our top stories are this morning on Breakfast Central. This morning on Breakfast Central.
We'll be looking at the Makinde-led PDP appointing Turaki as chairman. The leadership battles in the PDP continues. We'll also be looking at Turaki faction defies court order constitutes interim committee. Ahead of News Central's Just Town Hall meeting, we'll be bringing you updates. We're always at the forefront of bringing the stories and feeling the pulse of the citizens. Court remands Justice crack in DSS custody over cybercrime charges. We'll review the newspaper front pages as we do every morning. Stick around for all these and more.
You're welcome back to the Jonathan Hansen-led Breakfast Central.
You okay?
Wow.
I mean,
there's a faction in there.
There's a breakfast
extra.
There's a breakfast extra faction. So this is Breakfast Central faction.
Who's the leader of faction?
Mazino Appeal led Breakfast Central. So this is Jonathan Hansen.
Okay, factions are reigning here.
Yes, so welcome back.
Focus.
Former governors Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso have formally exited the African Democratic Congress to join the National Democratic Coalition in a move that is already stirring reactions across Nigeria's political landscape. The presidency, through Bayo Onanuga, described Obi as a political nomad, signaling the ruling camp views the development as non-threatening. Obi, meanwhile, urged members of the NDC to avoid litigation, stressing that the focus should be on building a cohesive political platform and not engaging in prolonged court battles.
The defections are deepening concerns about the fragmentation of opposition forces ahead of 2027. The Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center warns that repeated ideology-free defections risk further alienating voters, while ADC chieftain Salihu Lukman says the crisis reflects unresolved internal contradictions. Now, even as the NDC positions itself as a fresh rallying point, the key question is whether it can consolidate a credible coalition or simply become another chapter in Nigeria's cycle of shifting political alliances. Joining us this morning to discuss this is Mazi Nnamdi Dixon Iruegbu. Thank you very much for joining us.
A fresh member
because the last time you spoke with us, I think you were a member of the ADC at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Today, you are a member of the NDC. Hopefully, when we interview you tomorrow, you would not have joined another political party.
There you go on the screen.
Congratulations.
Your transitioning is...
All right. Now, coming back to Mazi Dixon Iruegbu, you inside the ADC. From your perspective, from where you stand, what specifically failed? Because we've seen the supporters and the critics of Peter Obi leaving. The supporters saying that, you know, they were landmines set for him. Critics of his movement saying that he's become a political nomad. But from your insight, what specifically failed within the party?
Thank you once again and good morning. And thank you for showing my membership card there to the NDC, Nigerian Democratic Congress. Yes, I have moved alongside my leader and his ally now, political ally, that is Dr. Rabiu Kwankwaso. We all have moved into the NDC. We moved with them and we are happy to do so. Why did we do that? Well, the mission to salvage the nation is a commitment that we will not derail on. So anything possible within the law that we can do to help save our country from the present ruins that we're faced with, we will do. And we thank our leaders for showing us the pathway. The ADC failed in reading the mood of the nation. The national leader of the ADC, who I also did write an open letter to before we got here now, where the Peter Obi and Kwankwaso group have moved. I appealed to the conscience of the leaders, going through the national leader of the ADC, that is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president. But unfortunately, they didn't listen to us. It appears that the aspiration of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is just to be more like contestant general of the Federation, as far as I'm concerned. Since 1992, that he has been running, I thought it would get to a stage when, especially now, that clearly it is still the turn of southern Nigeria, that he would have shown leadership by ensuring that under the African Democratic Congress, where they have succeeded in bringing the three major contenders, apart from the president in the 2023 election, where himself, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Mr. Peter Obi, and Alhaji Rabiu Kwankwaso have found, and then alongside also, of course, the former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi. That would have been a wonderful moment for all of us as Nigerians, but they didn't read the mood of the nation. And then also with the challenges that the ADC is faced with, legal tussles and all of that, the uncertainty of the platform, because that judgment from the Supreme Court, as far as I'm concerned, it's more like a trap. And our leaders did see it that way. This could be a trap. Because why not at the apex court? Why send us again downwards to the lower court to continue a case that they could have just decided there at the Supreme Court? So all of this, knowing what the environment today that we are in, the government of the day has shown clearly that it is doing everything possible to destabilize the opposition parties and possibly not present a contender, a credible alternative to what Chief Tinubu has given to us. We just have to also look at, how to survive as citizens of our country, because they say since the hunter, has learned how to shoot without missing, the monkey also had to, or the bird had to also ensure that it goes about without exposing itself that much. So I think it's a surprise for the ruling, and of course I call them reunion party, because that move has changed the dynamics of the 2027 contest. There will be a contest after all, and indeed Tinubu is about to be sent back to Bodilon, and that is why all of us, and there will be millions of Nigerians that will move into the NDC in droves, because this is the direction that the people of the Nigerian nation want to go to. We want to save ourselves from ruins. Now only tree they go tell, say tomorrow we'll cut you down and it will still stand there. We can't continue as a people, tolerating the poor leadership and services that this government has given to the Nigerian people. Tinubu's government, the APC government, has failed woefully. And everything possible within the law that should be done to ensure that APC is sacked in 2027 must be done. And this is just that journey. I have likened the moments we were in the ADC as more like the moment that John the Baptist had to, make way for the coming of the Savior. So ADC was more like it, the John the Baptist. Now, NDC is that political party that will get Nigerians out of the woods.
Okay. I mean, you've given us this, I'll call it political analogies, trying to break it down. But I'm sure you're also aware that 24 hours after Peter Obi and Kwankwaso made the announcement and the defection, there seems to be some faces that have cropped up to say, listen, we're going to court. The NDC belongs to us as well. I mean, you have Ada, a member of Ada, who said it was not registered appropriately by INEC, so they're going to court. It shouldn't be a party that will stand. You also have another person who say, listen, you have a legal advisor who is with the APM and the NDC. His name is on the INEC portal, so that shows that the NDC is complicit. Are you sure that before today ends, today, you will not have like 4 people who will come out to taint your white with some oily stains?
The state of our country now, anybody can be a willing tool to the Tinubu reunion government. So anybody who has presented himself as such, well, I wish them luck, but NDC, it is too late. We did our due diligence before. Our leaders did do their due diligence before moving. And be rest assured that this is the vehicle that will move the Nigerian people to the villa, to occupy the new direction that we want to go to, the new nation that we should have. The workability of Nigeria has just been activated. Those distractions, I wouldn't give attention to it. I think at this stage now, we will be focusing on putting all requirements that will meet up with the INEC timetable and all of that. And that's our focus. Okay. Those other distractions will not distract us at all. the focus is clear, very, very clear. Forget all those fifth columnists that are planting themselves wherever they want to plant themselves. This is the vehicle. We're safe here.
Mazi Irebu, what do you say to critics that call you and followers of Mr. Peter Obi ABF? They say you are anywhere belle-faced politicians and political nomads. That you are that you are political headsmen, because if you look at it, we've spoken to you in the last 1 month, and in that 1 month, you were in PDP, you were also in ADC, and now you're in NDC. We spoke to Dr. Ladan Salihu yesterday, chieftain of the ADC, and he said, those issues that you were complaining about and, litigations, that following the Supreme Court ruling that it was almost over. It was as good as the troubles are over, and that you are use and dump politicians. How do you respond to critics saying you don't have a mind of your own and all you do is anywhere but left face and follow Mr. Peter Obi and Kwankwaso?
The last time I checked, this is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and there is nowhere it is written in this Constitution that when you move from another political party to another political party, that it becomes a crime. So as long as this Constitution does not criminalize moving to any other political party, that narrative of whether we are nomads, political nomads, or whatever definition they want to give,
or political headsmen.
Apply. What is important is that realignment is allowed in politics. We are not unaware of the plots of the government. Everyone is aware of it, So the movement, therefore, is also in line with our survival. Being that the Constitution has given us the right to freely associate and also the right to freely disassociate. So I don't know why anybody would be disturbed about it. What is important is that what is the reaction of the populace, the Nigerian people? In the last 48 hours, the NDC website has crashed twice or thrice. Millions of Nigerians are trooping in droves. That is what is important. We are not going to be distracted by the noise of those who may not come in now. And by the way, let me use this opportunity to say to so many of them who are homeless politically that they should come home. This is the place where we can unite and help save our country. That is what is important, because all political parties in Nigeria, as we have seen under Tinubu, are all endangered, clearly. It started off with, of course, you mentioned my membership to the PDP.
Your former party.
I fought the good fight. I fought the good fight in the PDP. And Nyesom Wike became the tool that was used, willing tool that was used to destabilize the PDP and all of that. And everything about that plot is in the public domain. The governor of Oyo State did state it clearly that when they were in a meeting with the president, he gave us that privileged information that Nyesom Wike told the president that he will hold down the PDP for him, and he did that, okay? So, but because we have an understanding that we can really, if given the opportunity to serve our country, that we can do that. And we need a platform. If there were probably the Constitution provided for independent candidacy, possibly these movements wouldn't have been necessary. So my movement from the PDP to the ADC, of course, I delayed my membership to the ADC because, one, I told my principal then when he moved that I couldn't move with him because if there's no deal with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, I did tell Mr. Peter Obi that if there's no deal with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, then it would be a waste of time going into the ADC, because I know for a fact that if not that the PDP had zoned its ticket to southern Nigeria and has made it very clear that we're not going to repeat the mistake of 2023, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar probably wouldn't have moved out of the PDP. So when he moved into the ADC, of course, and the ADC didn't also recognize the fact that the southern Nigeria still has one term to go, I told myself there was no need, going in there. And eventually, I did declare my interest to run to serve my people, Abombi Sengopala Federal Constituency, in the Green Chamber. And being that I needed a platform, a vehicle that would take us to the Green Chamber. And PDP, with all the crises it was faced with, had to move, because I want to represent my people. And of course, I couldn't move to any other political party but the party where my leader is. That is Mr. Peter Obi. And I followed him to the ADC. In the few days that we stayed there, we did all that we could. Of course, we went to the Supreme Court. Like I said to you, that judgment at the Supreme Court, personally, when I was in court that day, I felt like, why are you sending us back to the lower court? Can I, after coming before God, and God will say, no, go back to start afresh from whatever, and then come back up again? I just felt that that was a trap, and our leaders did see that, and that informed the movement. So morally, it is not wrong. Constitutionally, it is not illegal. So proudly, we have moved to the NDC. And here in the NDC, we will work, we will do everything possible to ensure that we market these wonderful products, these wonderful leaders that have agreed to work together to save Nigeria. That is Mr. Peter Obi and Alhaji Rabiu Kwankwaso. That is our focus now, how that we will galvanize the Nigerian people, that all hope is not lost, that the renewed shaggy that Tinubu has brought upon us, that they should be patient very soon. They will be sent back in, and that's our focus. I have always stated that if we do not sack APC in 2027, APC may destroy Nigeria. That is why we are doing this. Everything within the law, including reaching out to the media and everyone, please, even the narrative, because for goodness sake, who does not want Nigeria to work? Why are we keeping quiet about our country? Why are we pretending that we are not comfortable about the state of things in our country? A government that has stifled or attempting to gag everyone. Once you express displeasure to what the government is doing, you become a suspect. If the police were as quick, to arrest the criminals, the kidnappers, the terrorists, the way they are arresting people who are expressing displeasure to the state of our country, we won't be here. So it's more like our doing everything to self-preservation or self-defense is a natural instinct that every human being should have. That's where we find ourselves. So please, those narratives, I don't think we should distract ourselves. What we should be asking now is, what is the vision? What is it that NDC will bring in, to the table, if given the chance by the Nigerian people? That is what we should be focusing now, not all this distraction. We have moved, and no apologies on that. The Nigerian people are moving along with us, and that's
and it's great that you have moved, and that
most important.
It's great that you've moved, and you don't have any apologies. You're well within your rights to do that. However, another issue has come up, and yesterday our guest spoke about it, and now we're starting to see more people speak about it. They're talking about the credibility of how the NDC came into being registered. Now, a leading promoter of the All Democratic Alliance, ADA, Umar Adu, has raised fresh concerns concerning irregularities, concerning how the NDC was registered. And he's not the only person. We've heard these talks in different corners, and he's threatened. There are threats to sue NDC. Do you want to speak to the legality of how the NDC was registered and your concerns or lack thereof about them maybe throwing landmines again in the NDC?
The national leader of our party, His Excellency Senator Sarah Kit Dixon, who is the founder of this party, has made public everything about how the NDC was registered. So there is no illegality about the process. Everything concerning the status of NDC is intact. INEC, which is, if INEC were the one you say I should respond to now, if INEC had come out to say, that NDC has some challenges that it needs to resolve, or how we registered it was not properly done, or blah, then I'll be listening. But if any individual out there, like I said, there are lots of people who have shown that they can be willing tools for destruction. So I wish them good luck. I don't want to engage anyone negatively in this direction. I wish anybody who is doing whatever, good luck. We have few days to go, and very soon it will be, that chapter will be closed. We'll now focus on the primaries of the party. Maybe at the end of today, I think, or tomorrow maximum, the NDC will be submitting its list of membership to the INEC as required by law. So any other body or any other individual doing anything, we are not perturbed about it, sincerely. I think that this is just the miracle. God loves this country, because I don't know what would have happened if Tinubu and his group had succeeded in their plot. You know, of course, the chief of staff to the president did make public the intention of the government to destroy, to scatter, to destabilize.
I don't understand. To destroy, scatter, to destroy, scatter, and destabilize who, where, when, what?
The political parties, of course, the video is out there. The chief of staff, Right Honorable Gbajabiamila, did state it clearly at an event in Kogi. Who they were using,
but the man he stated it, the man he told,
now.
Mazi, the man he told has eventually resigned. He resigned.
That's what I'm saying. Resigned. He has now resigned and joined him. So that's an affirmation of the fact that all the while he was a mole in the ADC, being used as a tool to destroy the party.
He said it was a hyperbolic
to them. Like I said, we couldn't stay back there because that Supreme Court judgment, knowing this government and what it has done and what it is ready to do shamelessly, we couldn't stay back there. That was a trap, or that is a trap.
Okay.
Maybe now that Mr. Peter Obi has moved, they may release the ADC and eventually may have a life after all. But the most important thing is that we know, everyone knows, that wherever Peter Obi, were to be, the government of the day was doing everything possible to ensure that he doesn't get a chance to be on the ballot.
Now, Mazi,
our leader did assure us that he will be on the ballot, and now we have a very safe place where he will be on the ballot.
Mazi, you've clearly stated this morning that your mission and the mission of the NDC is to rescue Nigeria, and by doing that is to win
to the people.
Yes, it is to win at the polls. That's the only way you could do it. And politics is a game of numbers. The last time we had general elections, your principal, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, garnered 6 million votes for the Labour Party.
6.1 million
6.1 million votes. Nobody saw it coming. It was an outside force, and it shook the establishment. He even won the president's state, Lagos State. And he did that without having, much of a structure. And some have said that, if he had structure and timing and polling agents in every part of the federation, he would have, garnered more votes. Fast forward 3 years on, are you not making the same mistake? Is there enough time to build up momentum before the elections next year to have a proper structure? Because you're going against a party that has, basically metamorphosized from Alliance for Democracy in 1999 to what it is today. And it's a ruling party. And the last time the ruling party lost elections in Nigeria, had to do with a coalition. But right now, the NDC and ADC are bickering, and it seems the opposition is fractured. So how do you plan to unseat the APC come next general elections?
Okay, first off, I think the reason why all of this panic mode was activated by the government of Chief Tinubu is because, being that he is the one in charge, now the buck stops at his table, and he would have seen the true copy of the result of 2023 election that would have clearly shown that Mr. Peter Obi won the election. Clearly, I'm sure that is why that they are doing everything possible to ensure that Mr. Peter Obi is not on the ballot. Because if he could do that, as he did in 2023, without any councillor, no local government chairman, not any House of Rep member or assembly member or senator or governor, then imagine it, where the combo of Mr. Peter Obi and now with Kwankwaso, who also in that election had 1 point something million votes, then be rest assured that that is the the main coalition has actually, or the main alliance has been activated. Now, the rest of it will be the Nigerian people, because they were the ones that did that magic in 2023. P2B didn't do it alone. The Nigerian people followed him. Now, with this very alliance with Mr. Kwankwaso, be rest assured that the days of APC in the villa are numbered. Clearly, I'm sure they know that. And the aspect of having the structure to defend the vote and all that, Mr. P2B could not be called a dullard. He couldn't be seen as someone who didn't learn anything from whatever experience that he got in the 2023 election. And it won't be right for any of us to come on national television to be telling APC how we're going to sack them in 2027. What is important is that we have gotten the winning ticket. Mr. P2B and Kwankwaso. That is important.
Okay.
The Nigerian people will do the rest, because all of us are in danger. Whenever we talk about all of this opposition in disarray, and I have always stated that I am a member of the opposition not because I'm a member of a political party. I'm a member of the opposition because as a Nigerian, I'm not comfortable with the state of things in my country. And I'm sure it applies to other Nigerians. The insecurity in the country affects everyone.
All right, Mazi, we're running out of time.
Economic hardship in the land affects everyone. So all of us, all citizens of Nigeria, are members of the opposition. What we were looking at for is that candidate that will give us the direction. And we have it now. So we have about 6-7 months for campaigns and all of that. You will see. You will just watch out. You will see.
6-7 months is too far.
North, east, west.
Man, the 6-7 months is too far. Let's talk about your primaries first of all, because there are those who argue that your celebration of being a clean party free of litigation is a bit premature, because a lot of the parties who have these kind of issues develop right after they've done their primaries, because someone is contesting or arguing the authenticity of the leadership. How do you foresee the NDC being able to navigate this? Are there concerns that, again, another faction will emerge that will contest leadership after the primaries?
Like Mr. P2B did say on that day of his movement into the NDC, he stated clearly that everywhere he went, he started with LP, same template, PDP, same template, ADC, same template. He did charge the government to please stay away from here. That was a sort, you know, he's a gentleman. He probably wouldn't say it the way that maybe some of us would say it. He said it, that was to put the government on notice. Stay away here. This place, don't come here. And then also made a statement to the members, do not allow yourselves to be a willing tool, okay, for this destruction that the government is attempting to do. The plot, if they were to succeed, they would have ended democracy. So should they come into NDC and do anything to possibly, the way they have done in other political parties, that means the whole world will now come against the government, because it will be clear that indeed, Oga, you're afraid of a contest. You do not want democracy to survive in Nigeria. And we will do everything possible to ensure that Tinubu does not derail democracy in our country. So those aspects of whether we're going to have our primaries, like I have said, watch out. Every step of the way, the NDC is evolving, and we will do every process that is required by law to eventually emerge, produce the candidates that will go for the contest. I have assured you that we are safe in this home because we did do our due diligence before getting involved. Every distraction, all of those rantings out there, it will just fizzle out very soon. We understand those who are pained, those who are shocked that this happened, how did we get here, you know? But sorry if they didn't understand that we had other plans, you know, to ensure that P2B is on the ballot. P2B was always saying it, that he will be on the ballot. He was always saying it.
Okay.
And I'm also reaffirming it, that ADC, you know, haven't failed us by not, you know, seeing that this is the winning candidate. We in the NDC now, we will produce a P2B Kwankwaso ticket. Okay. And we will win the 2027 election.
All right, I mean,
all those other narratives here and there.
Mazi,
I don't want to patronize those angles, sincerely.
Mazi, thank you so much for speaking with us. I mean, it's a tough one, especially on Nigerians, because just a few weeks ago, we did see the Ibadan summit where this same confidence was instilled in the hearts of many Nigerians. And by the way, some of your former members who were followers have started also resigning, saying they are tired because of the movement from here and there. They can't just keep up. But we'll look to have you again. Maybe that will be a time when it's official, and that will be a good time to have a conversation. But we're out of time now. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
I appreciate it.
I look forward to speaking with you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's tell you what's coming up next here on Breakfast Central on a Tuesday morning. Breakfast Central continues with Makinde-led PDP appointing Turaki as chairman. Ahead of News Central's Just Town Hall meeting, we'll look at what you should know and why you should participate. ADC chieftain calls for leadership reset, and we'll tell you what's happening to that party in a moment. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us on Breakfast Central. Now, in a move that has further polarized the People's Democratic Party, the Makinde-backed faction held the parallel 103rd National Executive Committee NEC meeting yesterday in Abuja. They appointed a 13-member caretaker committee led by former Minister Tanimu Turaki and an interim national chairman. Now, this comes amid Supreme Court rulings, leadership tussles, and accusations of illegitimacy from the rival Wike-aligned group.
Now, this move has left many observers and critics asking if it is truly a genuine attempt to rescue the PDP or another chapter in the power struggle threatening the party's survival ahead of 2027. Joining us for this conversation this morning is a member of the PDP, Andrew Enatome. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. So now, there has been a lot that's been going on in your party. I think the first question is, who is the current leadership? I mean, we did hear last week that the Board of Trustees stepped in and appointed the leadership for the party. What is the status of leadership in the People's Democratic Party?
Yeah, thank you so much. If you notice, I've actually stayed out of media for a while. It was very deliberate because we're putting so many things in place, trying to restructure the party, trying to stay focused on the task ahead of us. Of course, we don't have two factions in PDP. We only have one People's Democratic Party, ably led by Honorable Abdurrahman Mohammed and Senator Samuel Ayaun. You know that is not disputable, and this is the state. This is the stand of the law. If you go to INEC website today, the authentic group that is recognized by the law is the Abdurrahman Mohammed-led administration, Senator Samuel Ayaun. So there is no ambiguity. There's no story anywhere. It's just quite unfortunate that we are seeing the shenanigans being paraded, being carried out by Governor Seyi Makinde. It's quite unfortunate that this situation at this 21st century is happening in this dimension, and we all fold our hand. We are watching someone trying to destroy our hard-earned democracy, a political party that is built on a solid foundation. We brought Seyi Makinde from SDP to come contest under the People's Democratic Party, and all his plan now is to destroy the party. But we are watching, but we know that he's not going to succeed. So there's no ambiguity, there's no story anywhere. We only have one political party. The shenanigan that is being performed is because he's a sitting governor, so he has the state money, state resources to throw up and down. That's why he can perform all these things that he's doing. But I know there's a number in the system, so there's no story about it.
Mr. Enatome, you said the governor of Oyo State's moves, shenanigans, and you said he's destroying the party. What do you think? Where do you think this is coming from, and what does he stand to gain for somebody that has flown the flag of PDP for 7 years as executive governor of Oyo State? Absolutely. What interest would it be to destroy a party that helped get into power? I'm just asking this so that you can help us make sense of it.
Have been out of the system, out of political equation for a very long time. You know, we brought him from SDP when he was like practically a political orphan, when he has nowhere to go to. So we gave him platform 7 years ago. He joined PDP 7 years ago. I've been in PDP before him, but you know, fortune fell on his own side. So, of course, he became a governor under the beautiful platform, and you know, he ran under the party and he won the election. But you know the way the system is. The moment you test power like this, you find it difficult to, to lead the system, to allow the system to exist you. That's the issue. Now, Makinde is practically aware that a few months from now, he will be out of the corridors of power. So the best he can do is to do everything possible to hold on to power. And if it takes him to destroy the People's Democratic Party, he will do that just to remain at the corridor of power. You are practically aware that, look, the system is running effectively well. We are under administration. We will extend the sales of form on the 7th of May and the submission of returning by 9th of May. So what shenanigans is he trying to play? It's very obvious that this man never meant well for this party. Because if, as a political party, we are rounding up submission of forms by 9th of May, and all of a sudden you woke up, because you're a sitting governor, you could have the state resources to throw around, you went to go and be organizing men and start giving them money to, you say you are, what are you doing? What's the meaning of Interim National Working Committee? It's an aberration. This man is committing an aberration, and we are not just folding our hand watching him. When we are ready for him, he will understand the implication of what he is doing. This is a party that is built on a solid foundation. And they think that our forefathers will fold their hands and they are happy with what he's doing right now. Even after we've extended our olive hand to him, even after we've extended a hand of love to him, that man, come over to the round table. Let's build this party together. Of course, you've made a mistake. You've committed so many atrocities in the party by, with all these issues, creating problems everywhere. We've even forgiven you. But still come over. Let's discuss. Let's move this party forward. You said, no, even after Supreme Court have laid the table, have made everything so clear, all you could do is to still go and start renting hall, putting people together, saying, what is the Interim National Working Committee? It sounds so odd. This is a group that you said you never recognize a caretaker committee. You appointed caretaker committee, all of a sudden you say Interim National Working Committee. It's laughable. It's so laughable. Makinde want to use PDP to negotiate for his personal interest. That's the reason why he's doing all these things. Because he knows that at the end of his tenure as a governor, he's not coming back. He cannot produce a successor. So he needs to remain in the system. And that's what politicians do.
But how did we get here?
For you to use as a negotiating tool for your personal political, advantage.
Okay, all right. You know what will happen? Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, there's so many questions to ask. There's the case of the secretary from your own end, whom we've seen that the court has upheld its ruling that he is not the secretary. But it seems like your faction disagrees with the court's ruling. But we'll talk about all of that. Let's go for a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. This is Breakfast Central. Thanks for staying with us. Let's come back straight to the conversation we've been having concerning the People's Democratic Party. Well, currently, as you know, the facts are indeed clear that at the Yaradua Center, the Makinde-aligned group ratified Tanimu Turaki as chairman of an interim NWC, with Taufik Arakwaja as well being present. The footage you see there on the screen definitely will remind you of the conventions and so on and so forth. But we just spoke with our guests in the Abuja studios. Let's come back home and tell you very clearly that we also have in the studio, of course, one who is a PDP chieftain and one who's truly committed to the party and has always said that come what may, the party will stand. And maybe in the words of the Oyo State governor, he said PDP will field a presidential candidate. How is that possible? We'll get to find out. We also have with us PDP chieftain who joins us, Dr. Tukumbo Pierce, who joins us. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Before you join us live on set, we also have another a PDP member. I don't know if we should use the word factional at this point now, because obviously it seems he is of the opinion that the NWC that was held yesterday, the meeting, the 103rd meeting that was held yesterday, is not in line with what the PDP should do. And is aligned with the Abdurrahman Mohammed leadership. Exactly, that's where he is. But let's come back. Let's start off with you, now that you're live in the studios. What do you make of the fact that the PDP chairman, who, of course, from the Supreme Court, was not recognized as such, especially during your convention that was held last year, and now he's actually leading the interim committee. And then it's quite different from what, you know, the Wike faction is also saying. In all of this, what do you make of the entire situation?
I thought that the Supreme Court judgment of the 30th of April made it very clear because two things were adjudicated that day. One was that the convention we had in Ibadan had been nullified. Two was that Anyanwu, Bature, Abdurrahman, their suspension is also affirmed. Now, if their suspension is affirmed, and if they first suspended on the 1st of November 2025, and then November 15, they were expelled. Now, if that is the case, what the judgment said clearly was that anything, any convention that they organized, any appointments that they made, any congresses that they had have been nullified. So that is the situation. Turaki, Rapaja were not the members of the PDP, and they remain members of the PDP. Therefore, we can appoint them to any position we want. That is the case. The judgment also gave us the room, the leeway, to continue with our party the way it was under Damagun, and that's where we are now. So that we went back, the Board of Trustees of the party took control of the party, set up an administrative system whereby they called the NEC, and the NEC set up an interim committee to run the party. That's all. That interim committee now will be registered with INEC, and INEC will accept them because that is what the Supreme Court has said, that those people who are claiming to be party members that have been expelled are remaining expelled. The party is alive and well. Our party is intact. With this interim committee, we are going back to INEC, register these names, the chairman and the secretary. They will sign our papers for nomination. We've already got our schedule set up. Nomination forms, letters of interest, everything is in progress. How much you're going to pay for each position is in progress. We are moving on. When you see these Wike and co. so anxious for reconciliation, it shows you that they know that they don't have a say anymore. We tried to reconcile many times, and Wike said to us, the only way I will reconcile with you is if you do not feel the presidential candidate and you leave Tinubu to be the only one running. Come on. This man is a danger to democracy in this country. And what that means is that Nigerians don't have a choice of who they will elect, either as president or senate or whatever, if they only have APC. Notice what has been happening in our politics. The 2023 election, 90 people registered to vote. Only 24 million or 25 million voted. After that, the Edo election, 24% turnout. The Ondo election, 26% turnout. The worst case, look, nobody wants to vote for this party, APC. In, what do you call it? In Abuja recently, the council election, 15% turnout. That is what they want to impose on Nigeria. That with a 10% turnout for President Tinubu in 2027, he will declare himself the winner. We will not allow that in the PDP. We are fielding candidates. INEC has no choice, but if INEC goes against the ruling of the Supreme Court, INEC will be in trouble. So we are going to register our party back with INEC, our officials who are now controlling our National Working Committee, and we are submitting our names of our candidates from president all the way to state assembly, all over the country.
But is INEC recognizing your faction? What is the current position? Which of the factions does INEC currently recognize?
INEC does not recognize factions. There is only one
which
PDP.
leadership does INEC recognize at the moment?
INEC does not recognize any leadership of the parties. INEC said, go back to where you were under the Magun when these people have been suspended. So that is where we are. It is not a question of INEC recognizing any leader in the party.
So that's the interpretation of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, there is only one PDP, the one that was registered with INEC in 1998. So the one that is holding is 103rd National Working Committee meeting. That is PDP. The other one, Wike, is Wike and company. Let him continue to rant and to rave. It doesn't mean anything. You see him now anxious for reconciliation. He wants to be involved.
Okay, let's get Mr.
If he wants to go,
let's get Andrew.
Party, let him come back to the
party.
Let's
get Andrew Nato to respond to this. You've heard him. He said that the Wike faction, I mean, your team of PDP, that Nyesom Wike is anxious for reconciliation. You've heard him state the position. What do you respond?
It's really surprising seeing Dr. Adetokunbo Opes talk this way. He's a man I have very high regards for, being with him for years in Lagos. I know him very well, It's a committed PDP chieftain, But one question you have to ask is, Dr. Adetokunbo is from Lagos State. Today, we don't even have a councillor in Lagos. We can't be proud of, the PDP in Lagos State. The Makinde from Oyo State won the governorship election with a very minute numbers. I knew the effort we put in for him to skate through and win his second term in office. But it's just quite unfortunate with what we're seeing, with the drama that is playing out. Doctor is saying that we don't have PDP. Today, on the side of the law, the Abdurrahman administration is your PDP. We don't even have fashion as far as PDP is concerned today. We don't have fashion. Let's say we are deceiving ourselves. The worst thing that can happen to any human being is when you are seeing the truth glaring in your face and you are self-deceiving. It's just quite unfortunate the direction at which these our leaders are going to. Wike you are talking about, Wike is not begging for any reconciliation. Wike have extended an olive hands before now, prior to this era. But these guys refused because maybe they have a selfish and personal interest. I don't understand the desperation that the Turaki Makinde led. I don't understand where they are being, their level of desperation. This is not helpful. This is not healthy for our political party. This is the only political party we have to call our own. I know the effort our founding father put in to get this party to where it is today. Bala Mohammed inherited 13 governors. The same Bala Mohammed have abandoned the ship, left with only one governor that is about to camp in the next few days. This goes to 4 days of the rain. You need to help us. We don't have a fashion in PDP.
Andrew, if I may come in, Mr. Matoman, I would like us, beyond,
it doesn't happen
Andrew, if I may come in here, beyond all the rhetorics, let's stay on the conversation and the issues.
Absolutely, that's what we are doing.
One of the biggest issues, which many see as an aberration, that a party that produced the president of Nigeria for 16 years is towing the line of, not producing a presidential candidate and endorsing the ruling president in a similar situation to what Abga is doing. So I'm asking you, I want to ask you a direct question. Is the PDP going to field a presidential candidate?
Absolutely. We have people that have started protesting presidential candidates.
And is the PDP working for the APC as we currently speak?
Not at all. People's Democratic Party remains the biggest opposition party in the whole of Sub-Saharan Africa. 2 days ago, Senator Sandy Ono purchased his expression of interest and nomination form. Today, as I talk to you right now, we have 2 presidential candidates that are still coming to purchase their form again. So what else does these people want? If it's not that they're interested in destroying this great party that we labor for, many of us have not benefited from this party the way it should be. Doctor is aware he's been a chieftain of this party. Most of them have benefited so well. We have labored and put our life on the line to make this party what it is today. So we cannot put our hands and watch this party go down the drain. It saddens our heart. PDP is going to produce a presidential candidate that is going to compete in this election effectively with the way it should be. From 13 governors down, we are struggling with one governor that is even about defecting, and you think we should put our hands and be happy? It's not done anywhere. With the way at which they are going now, you're setting up interim NWC. Where are they going to compare? Where are they going to start from? The Supreme Court actually quashed everything they've done because they built it on an illegal ground, on the faulty foundation. Everything has been quashed. Now, 2 days or 3 days to expiration of sales of form, you say you're setting up an interim NWC. Where are they going to start from? Where are they going to build their foundation on? Where are they going from here if it's not that the intention is to destroy the party? Because with what they are doing now, of course, they're not going to meet with an electoral guideline because everything they're doing is illegal. They're just trying to ensure that they distract Nigerians, distract our PDP members, distract our team followers. But we are telling our followers that please, keep your money to yourself. Don't go and spend your money in a faulty foundation. The authentic People's Democratic Party that is being led by Abdulrahman and Samuel Ayahu is running the party administration effectively and that is where our party is. Anything after what is illegal is not avoid and it has no local standing and it's not standing in our society.
Mr. Natome, before we went on the break and then I introduced our guest in-house, the chieftain of the PDP, what is the situation of Senator Ayahu?
Ayahu is the authentic national secretary of the People's Democratic Party recognized by law.
Are you aware of the court's decision? The court says he's not.
So I was at the Supreme Court that day.
Who should Nigerians believe now?
Okay, so you are the Supreme Court.
Ayahu was not ready. CTC copy. When the CTC copy comes out, I will still come here. You will see it yourself. His issue were not read. It was not a subject of discussion that day. The main subject of discussion was that everything done by Makinde-led administration have been quashed and it's not avoid. That was the issue of discussion. There was never a place where they mentioned Ayahu at the Supreme Court that day. These guys are just trading on propagandas and that's what they keep on trading on. And that's what is destroying our party.
Okay, all right.
Propaganda has to put aside if we must move forward as a political party. Makinde should stop this thing that he's doing. It's not healthy for us. We, the young generations, have a lot of future in this party.
Okay, all right. Let's come back to Mr.
I am sad. I don't like what is going on.
Let's go back to Dr. Pierce.
I'm sure you have a lot to say.
You are a great dramatist. You are saying a lot of things, but you are not making any sense. You have said something now for which you are going to be held liable by law. You have said that Ayahu is authentic secretary of our party.
Absolutely, sir.
He is of your group, okay? But the law said, you said now, you are telling a lie. That's a false information.
It was not mentioned. His name was not mentioned that at the Supreme Court.
He did not need to mention his name. Let me tell you something. On the 9th of March of this year, a High Court judgment came out with the same thing that happened with the Supreme Court. 3 issues were discussed. The cancellation of the November 15, 16 convention and the affirmation of the suspension and expulsion of Ayahu and co. I don't know. Look, this is a waste of time. Talking to this guy taking this position. If you insist on going, Wike said clearly to everybody in public, on national TV, first he said they're not going to field the candidate for president.
We're aware of that.
Everybody will follow Tinubu. Then he said, when he realized that that exposed him totally, he now said, we are going to field candidates. I give it to you. All these candidates that you are saying about forms, they will come and run and they will step down for Tinubu because they've already said that Tinubu is their candidate. Who are you fooling? Look, all of this is just talk.
Well, that's their individual interest.
Can you please
the INEC, by now, has accepted the interim structure that PDP has put in place. If not, listen, if we perish, let us perish, okay? It is not for you to make so much noise. How can you say we want to destroy PDP? We are the ones, Makinde is the one that's been trying to put the PDP together. It is Wike who has said clearly to everybody that his intention is to dislocate PDP. So all of this talk doesn't mean anything. You may rant and shout and make a lot of noise. Nobody is listening to you because the law is on the side of the authentic PDP. Look, when was Wike's group registered with INEC as a political party. It doesn't mean anything. He keeps saying PDP. PDP is a party that was registered in 1998 that has had 103 meetings of its National Working Committee. How many meetings have you had? When did you start? Who the hell is this? This doesn't mean anything.
Okay. Permit me to just, before we do have a break, we want to go on a quick break. But when we come back, let me just nip this in the bud very quickly. A judgment which has not been vacated or stayed has actually been the one that has endangered the validity of the March 28 to 29, 2026 National Convention, which means the convention your faction had is also in question because your convention produced Abdulrahman Mohammed-led factional PDP leadership following Anyanwu's involvement in appointing Mohammed as the faction's acting national chairman, as well as his membership of Wike's Camp's National Caretaker Working Committee that organized the convention. Don't forget, there was always a case of his signature on the other convention. So there seems to be a back and forth in this case. Well, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll go on a break. We'll be back. Welcome back. We're looking at the PDP issue and the big one in front of the political party ahead of 2027 elections. We have in our Abuja studios Mr. Andrew Natome, who is a PDP member, and of course a chieftain who's here in Lagos, Dr. Tokunbo Pierce. Mr. Andrew, before the break, we're looking at the main issue on ground, and that's got to do with the secretary. I mean, if your secretary wasn't suspended, he also had to, go back to the court and say they should strike out his suspension. So one will wonder, if there wasn't any suspension in the first place, why are you now going back, to the court? So that's also a big question. But everyone is asking as well here, and I want to ask you, while your faction, claimed victory from the Supreme Court's judgment because there seems to be some different interpretations of what had taken place, the Makinde group has gone ahead with a well-attended NEC featuring governors, former ministers, and founding members of the PDP. Doesn't this show that everyone is aligned with the fact that, listen, the Board of Trustees has taken step and owns the party, therefore they need to restructure the party? And how come you are still maintaining that the Board of Trustees that did that, led by Oyo State Governor, isn't the right Board of Trustees? Rather, it is a Board of Trustees that was appointed by the then suspended secretary. I mean, your thoughts, just to clarify that.
The standards, the Board of Trustees led by Makinde and Co. Is not in existence.
Makinde does not
in
lead
the first
any
place.
Trustees.
He doesn't lead. Let me just clarify that.
Makinde,
he's
right
not
now,
leading the trustees.
Maybe
He's not the one. He's not the one leading the trustees. So let me just clarify that.
Yes, I know. That's what we know. That's what we know. Most people felt is one, but of course we know Makinde is the brain behind all this destruction going on in the party.
Then you don't know anything. You don't know anything.
One thing you have to understand. Doctor, listen to this analysis. Listen to this analysis. One thing you have to understand. In Oyo State today, Makinde is no longer a member of the People's Democratic Party. We've done our primary congresses in Oyo from world level down to the state level. You understand? So we already have our structure set up in Oyo State. So
sorry, Andrew, you continue. Andrew, hold on. Andrew, Mr. Andrew, sorry, you continue now. Sorry, you continue. You have to speak. You have the right to respond. That's why we're here. But do you know anybody called Adolphus Wabara? Do you know anybody like that?
He was a former member of the People's Democratic Party and a former BOT chairman. It's no longer, he has been expelled from the ward down to the state level, backed up by the court. So it's no longer a member of the party and it's no longer a BOT. Our present BOT chairman is Senator Mao. That is number one. Number two, you talked about Senator Samuel Anyanwu being expelled from the party. And when they did their so-called kangaroo expel, based on what they said, they went to court to back it up. And this guy states that someone can sit down and that everybody is being myopic the way they think. Now, do you know what they did? You amputate my hands, you amputate my leg, and you asked me to be running. That's what you did. And you gave me 18th century weapon to start fighting 24th century war. That's the trick that these guys are doing. Now after I'm putting my hand and putting my leg, you want me to run and you're chasing me with 21st century weapon, give me a 18th century weapon to put in my to protect myself. The game now is this that you have to understand. When the so-called purported expert that they said they did to Anyanwu, in the previous administration. They went to court. And you want anyone to fold his hand and not go to court to vacate it when they know that they are standing on illegal ground? That's the joker. So if anyone have not gone to court to vacate the illegal proportion expert, that the so-called expert that they said they did, you will not say, why didn't you go to court to challenge as the expert? When you go to court to challenge? Now the man have gone to court to tell you that, look, you cannot expel me illegally. I've gone to court to challenge it. Set that aside. The so-called expiration that you're talking about, it was a life on its own as at that time. And that era not gone. It's not gone. So if you said you no longer want me in your company, and another MD came over and take over the position of that company, and the MD decided to appoint me to come and lead the company, you will not from nowhere to come and say you don't want me again. It's not done anyway. The real owners of the party, did you see the 108 next meeting we had? As far as we are concerned, these guys are long backdated. They are in 103. We are in 108. Did you see the caliber of people that were in that meeting? We don't have a fashion in the People's Democratic Party. We have the people that are running the party, the founding fathers. The people you are seeing, most of them, they are old people. We expect them to have retired by now and go and relax, give us an advisory structure on how we can move the party forward. Let the likes of Dr. Tukumbe Pegs and the rest of them sit back and give us a direction that, okay, young people, let me keep on advising you how to go about it. Not them joining Makinde as a young man to start destroying this party for his personal interest. Doctor might not come back to contest again because I know him. He's somebody that is an elder statesman. But like Makinde still might want to have a political ambition. So he needs PDP to negotiate for his own political future. And I want our elders and our fathers to understand the game that Makinde is using them to play. Makinde is the one funding these guys from one angle, just for his own selfish and personal interest. But the man is out of power. I'll see what he can do. Did Makinde tell you that he was forming an alliance with Tinubu before now? If it's not that we can reveal it. These are the things that you should understand. These guys are playing the script.
Can you expand on what you mean by? Can you expand on what you mean by Makinde forming alliance with Tinubu until Wike reveals it? Because what we publicly know is that Wike is serving under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's tenure, and has publicly even said that your party hasn't learned from his mistakes in one of his media rallies, saying that your party has not brought its candidates to him, and he's criticized the party, saying that they haven't learned from their past mistakes. Now, and has publicly said that he will throw his support behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027.
That's his personal opinion. When Tinubu invited Wike to join him to form a government of national unity for the interest and the development of this country, because if this guy actually know what it takes to move a country forward, you want
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a quick question? So, is there a Wike-led faction in the PDP?
There is no Wike-led faction. What we have
but how do you then juxtapose
Abdurrahman Mohammed?
How do you then, if you say there is no Wike-led faction, how do you then say that there is a Seyi Makinde-led faction?
Because Seyi Makinde decided to start creating an interim NDC that have never existed in the history of our political party. It has never. This is the first time you are hearing that name. A journalist yesterday was wondering that, where are you guys getting this name
But
from?
Have you heard of the G5?
The first release they did, they said caretaker. But when they realized that Nigerians are going to criticize them for using the word caretaker, because they said it was never a caretaker, they now quickly changed it to interim chairman.
I'm going to come back to the studio because Mr. Dr. Adetukumbo has
these guys are parading.
Mr. Anatome, you do recognize that all of this happened before our eyes. Nyeso Wike and Seyi Makinde were pals, political bodies.
It was
the G5, and all of a sudden, it's broken down irretrievably to the point that you are saying that there is no Wike-led faction, but there is a Seyi Makinde-led faction.
There is no Seyi Makinde-led faction. What we have is the Abdurrahman administration. Okay. Abdurrahman Senator Samayahu administration. There is no faction. That is the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
Makinde doesn't have a faction. Makinde is not a member of the People's Democratic Party. He has been expelled from the party. We have a fresh structure in Oyo, and you're going to see that. He's not a member of the party. He's already forming an alliance with ADC, and you saw it on air. So why is he coming to destroy PDP? Bala Mohammed is in APM, and he's giving his own building to the PDP to some illegal people in PDP to be using. That's the problem here.
Okay, now let's have
but it's only to destroy PDP.
So you're saying that, if I hear you correctly,
what I'm talking about. These guys are playing a script.
Take a deep breath, Mr. Anatome.
They're playing a script.
We're having a conversation now. We're not fighting. Take a deep breath. If I hear you correctly, you're saying Seyi Makinde is supporting the ADC. Is that correct?
Yes, it's only an alliance with ADC. You saw it now. They had meet in Seraphim. And that was because the alliance he wanted to form with Tinubu did not favor him.
Okay.
Because earlier before now, when he was parleying with Tinubu, going to Asoro, parleying with Wike, he never knew that the game was going to end this way. He thought he can hijack the party and put it in his own pocket so that he can become a presidential candidate to discuss and negotiate with Tinubu for his own personal interest.
Right.
These are the scripts that we know. Ma, do you know why this thing is painful to some of us? We understand we are part of the script that these guys are playing.
All right.
Now you are putting it in my eye.
Let's put a pause there. Let's put a pause there, Mr. Inatomen. There's many strong allegations that you've made about the People's Democratic Party and the leadership structure. Let's bring it back into the studio. Dr. Pierce, your right of response.
I don't know where to begin, but let me just say this. If Makinde is negotiating with ADC, let's assume it's true. It's in the process. Has Wike not already pitched his tent with APC? So what's the point? If this is politics, let them play the politics. One is negotiating with ADC, according to you, but you are not saying that your man, your leader, is already negotiated with APC. Anyway, something I'd like to clarify. He said that Wike went to serve as the FCT minister with approval from our party. That is true. The approval was given to Wike and anybody else who Tinubu wanted because Tinubu promised Nigeria that he would form a party, a government of national unity. We sent Wike to go and serve in that government of national unity on our behalf. When Wike got there, he turned against us and started working for the government. We didn't tell you to go and work for the political party of the president. We told you to go and work for the government. They don't seem to understand the difference, and we know the difference. Anyway, all of this shouting doesn't make any sense. It doesn't mean anything. If tomorrow INEC decides to accept the candidates from the PDP, because you see the way he's shouting, it shows you that he knows that they don't have a party. There's a political party called the People's Democratic Party that was registered with INEC in 1998 and was in government for 16 years. That is the party. This new one is not the PDP. I rest my case on that.
Now, Dr. Pierce, staying with you and just witnessing, because yesterday also we spoke to a member of the ADC, a chieftain of the ADC, which is part of the opposition, and he was really angry with the movement of Rabiu Kwankwaso to the NDC and Mr. Peter Gregory. And today we're discussing another opposition party that has, a major opposition party, in People's Democratic Party, which seems to be a carcass of its old self. And you have different groupings that can't seem to get along. So should we just, have we crossed the Rubicon in saying that, there's no going back from here and, warring parties cannot reconcile within the PDP and also the ADC grouping? So is the coast clear for the APC to be re-elected next year?
I get your point. Very good concern. Now, this is the situation. The Ibadan Accord, which was discussed, was a plan pending the outcome of the Supreme Court judgment. If the PDP, the ADC, all of them were allowed to go, then they will form an alliance. But after the judgment, we had to change ground, change strategy. The judgment has given the PDP the go-ahead to go back to where it was, the original PDP. We are intact, we are ready. We are not ADC, NDC, no. They have a problem there. When they resolve it, if they resolve it, they will be a bona fide party. They will be the third party. The only parties that are standing now in Nigeria is the APC and the PDP, the original PDP, the real PDP. that was registered in 1998. You say carcass, we are not a carcass at all. We have lost governors.
I mean, looking at the height, 31 governors at some point.
Okay, this is the point.
Presidency.
Let me make this point clear.
Yes.
Governors do not make a party. The party makes the governors. I gave the example before, I believe, here. In 2023, APC, Tinubu had 22 governors. He won in only 8 of them, only 8 of those states. Atiku had 12 governors with the PDP, and he won in only 4 of them. The others were not PDP states. The most dramatic example and the most clear example is Peter Obi, who had no governors and won in 12 states. Look, the issue is just razzmatazz. You give the impression, who is this governor? Look at the governor of Kano. He decides to go to APC. Now, where's Kano? Kano is in the hands of Kwankwaso, the leader of the party.
Is it?
The people are, yeah, definitely. The people are not going anywhere. Our people in our structures, every nook and corner of Nigeria, every local government, every ward, you have PDP. And the PDP you have there is the old PDP. All our structures that have been in place since 1998 are still intact. And they are ready for election. You understand me? That is where Nigeria is. Nigerians, believe me, you have an option. You don't have to vote for APC. APC will not be the only ticket in the ballot in 2027. The PDP is there. We have already formed our interim National Working Committee. We are already submitting names. You see, by the way, Wike never, when Wike calls you to come and run, he buys the forms for you. He pays for the election. It's on record. So all these people say, no, people are coming to buy. Nobody's buying. Because they know it's risky. So he will pay you to come, so that if you don't do what he wants, he will sack you.
No, but how will he pay for people to buy forms when he has clearly said that he's aligning with the president in 2027?
That's the point. Now, but you heard him say, the guy said that they're buying forms.
But we don't know for sure.
Dr. Pierce, still talking about...
Even if they buy forms, they will buy forms because they will run. It's agreed that it's going to run. They're going to have candidates. But I say they're going to have candidates, but based on what he has said originally, they will step down for President Tinubu. So it's a farce. It's a joke.
Now, Dr. Pierce...
The PDP is already... Look, from yesterday, we are already being told, if you're interested in any race, any position, write a letter of intent. The amount you are going to pay, the deadline for payment, all of it is there in place in PDP. People are going now to Abuja. They are going in to pay their nomination fees. They're ready. That's all. If INEC decides not to honor our candidates, that's another issue. Now let us see. So there's no point in all of this noise.
I want to follow up with you on still the issues of reconciliation. Because earlier you did say that the FCT minister was extending the olive branch and is interested in some sort of negotiations and talks, reconciliation. Could you speak more to that?
I take it from what the gentleman was saying.
And are you open to, discussions?
Listen. I take it from what this gentleman was saying that they want to reconcile, right? They want reconciliation, all of us should come back, right? And I say, the reason why we are not back now is because of what Wike has done up till now. Because before the Supreme Court issue came up, we told him many times, Bala Mohammed went to him, Makinde went to him, they said, look, let us discuss this thing. Wike said, in his typical arrogant way, I'm not discussing anything. I have told you, the only condition that I will discuss negotiation with you is if you don't fill the presidential candidate. And we said, we will not agree on that because we are going to make sure Nigeria is a multi-party democracy. What you are talking about is autocracy. We're not going to accept that. We want to give Nigerians a choice, and therefore we will field our candidates. That is the difference between us, and that's why we couldn't reconcile with him. Now, it is too late, in my own opinion, unless he comes back to the real party and forgets all this nonsense that these people are talking about they're the only party. So if he keeps saying it's the only party, then where's the room for reconciliation?
Okay.
Where's the room for conciliation?
That's well said. I mean, just to wrap things up, we have Mr. Andrew in our Abuja studios. Andrew, you there? Can you hear us?
Very well, loud and clear.
Okay, so you've heard on the road to reconciliation. And pretty much, it seems like the committee that has been set up as well from the BOT on this side and that on your side, there seems to be no reconciliation or acceptance of what the court had said. Maybe as we proceed, someone will have to head to the court again to find out what the interpretation is, because we've heard many times that sometimes the parties will need to go and get the interpretation of what was said. We're being told that today, the CTC will be out today. Yeah. All right? And when that comes out, everyone will have much clarity as regards to where they stand. Should it be that the CTC comes out and it's in line with Adolphus Wabara and Seyi Makinde-led PDP, what will be the outcome? What will be the way forward for you and, of course,
in the first place, it cannot be in line with them. That is one.
You already...
I want us to be practical here. Just my last one. I want us to be practical.
Okay, that's fine. Go on.
This is reality. Tinubu is from Southwest. He's a Yoruba man. Okay? Seyi Makinde is from Southwest. He's a Yoruba man. Now, doctor understand what I'm saying very well, because I am a Yoruba boy. I know what I am talking about. This is the analogy. Do you think an average Yoruba man will sit down with a sitting president eating food on his table? You expect him to throw him away and go and support somebody who is coming for a trial and error? This is the game. Seyi Makinde want to contest as a president against a sitting president that is from his own village, from his own place, his own brother. And you think in your heart of heart, let's face reality, that Seyi Makinde will contest against his own elder brother? You think it's possible? You think the traditional rulers of Southwest of the Oduduwa race will support Seyi Makinde to dislodge his own elder brother that have already given them power and a sense of belonging in the national unity of our country? Dr. Tokunbo Pierce know what I am talking about here. This is the reality.
Listen, if it was not this sophisticated studio, I would just come and pull you from where you are sitting and throw you out. You know you're talking
Okay.
Look, what has that got to do? You are the kind of people destroying Nigeria's unity. What is tribal issue got to do with it? Tinubu is now our brother, okay? Tinubu may be a Yoruba man, we don't even know where he comes from. So that has nothing to do with politics, okay?
So you prefer another person to rule over you now?
With politics. What has that got to do with saving Nigeria and giving Nigerians an alternative? Tinubu is not our friend because his policies have done damage to Nigeria, for which reason we are not supporting him. Even if he was my blood brother, same father, same mother, I will not support him because he has failed Nigeria, and his job is to protect Nigeria, to protect our democracy, and to help us move our economy forward and to secure this country. He has failed in those ways. Makinde had nothing to do with Tinubu. I have nothing to do with him. We are going to run against his party and his policies and his candidates from president all the way to assembly, and we are going to replace them with better options for Nigeria.
All right.
Absolutely. That's what we're doing as a political party. So the sense of form is ending. We've extended to Thursday, which on the 7th, and they have to submit by night. So the door is open. Then for Doctor and the Wabara-led, Samuel and the Abdurrahman-led administration, they are still very much open. They are two gentlemen. They are willing to accept every other person that have gone. After all, the prodigal son left many years ago. When he came back, he said, "Father, I have missed my route. Please accept me back." And the father gave him equal privileges. When Samuel Ayahu went to Imo State to go and receive a lot of the campaign, both former governors, deputy governors, and a whole lot of others, he told them, he said, "We're going to give you equal and fair treatment." So, Doctor, I am pleading with you. Tell them that when they come back, we are going to give them equal and fair treatment. Right. I know they are feeling this child, but the truth remains, the PDP that we have right now, led by Abdurrahman Mohammed and Samuel Ayahu, is open to receive them. They should come back and give them a fair treatment.
Letter of apology to PDP that he will not support President Tinubu against a PDP candidate.
But we have a candidate, Doctor. You know we have a candidate that have bought from and took more people are going to buy from today.
At this point, I think it's important for us to step in and to mention that the thoughts and opinions expressed here do not represent our opinion here on News Central Television, and we just brought both parties to the table to have a conversation. And just as we wrap up, Mr. Anatome, you have said there, you have open arms, you're welcoming all members into the political party. Dr. Best thinks you're far gone beyond any conversation, that you're far past negotiation. What will a negotiation or a conversation in 30 seconds look like? Is there a possibility, from your perspective, of that coming to play? In 30 seconds, please.
The negotiation is that when they come back, we're going to sit with them. First of all, forgive them all their sins. Then let them tell us which position they are vying for at the state level, at the House of Rep. I believe the Ayahu and Abdurrahman, they will give them a fair play. They cannot come to their house and we'll throw them away. No, when they come to a round figure table, we will allow them to purchase forms. We will give them an open hand. We're forgiving them. We have let go of their mistakes. After all, Prodigal Son did more than this. So we have let go of their mistakes. If Shemakide come back today and beg for forgiveness, I am too shocked that Abdurrahman and Samayu will forgive him.
All right, your 30 seconds is up. Thank you very much.
Okay, so
back to
Shemakide should come and beg for
forgiveness. Dr. Adetukomo.
Absolutely. We will see what
30 seconds as well.
I have an idea of how we can have reconciliation. If the Supreme Court judgment says that Wike's faction group is the authentic PDP, and INEC accepts the Wike group as the authentic PDP, I want to run for a position in the PDP. I will go and reconcile with them. Okay. That is what we will do. All of us will now know that is the PDP, and we will all go there.
Okay. All right. So today the CTC, the certified true copies will be out. There have been multiple interpretations as to what the court judgment said and what the court judgment held. But we will revisit this conversation. We've heard from Dr. Adetukomo Pierce, and we've also heard from Mr. Andrew Enatome. And thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us to have this conversation. We hope that you can share your thoughts and that the PDP will, rise again. I know when I say this, I know of you will say, but the PDP hasn't sung. But we do not want to see a lot of all these divisions within your political party. We hope you can find some middle ground. Thank you very much for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right, we're going on a very quick break. When we come back, we have our newspapers to review. Please stay with us.
I'm sure you've been seeing the adverts and promotion of what is about to happen in the Middle Belt, courtesy of News Central. But let's go straight to the Middle Belt and talk about the town hall, the fresh one, the new one, which holds this Thursday. Now, this is definitely going to lead to so many questions, especially why News Central has decided to go back to Jos Plateau State to host a town hall again. Has there been any improvement in the security architecture? What are the people saying? And what happens, especially going forward as we walk towards the 2027 elections? The lives of the people matter the most. We do have our guest who's joining us this morning to speak about the News Central Town Hall, which will happen definitely this Thursday. We have one who is called Justin Tiopusu, who joins us, and he is a Taraba Independent Peace Committee member, ISPA. Thank you, Justin, for being here as we count down to the town hall. Can you quickly shed more light on what preparations look like, and are the people eager and waiting to definitely share their thoughts on the improvement of security?
Thank you very much for having me in. Like you rightly pointed out, my name is Justin Tiopusu. I'm the Secretary of Taraba Independent Peace Committee and also a journalist with the Punch newspaper. I am the correspondent of Punch newspaper in Taraba State. So, talking about the forthcoming town hall meeting in Jos, the preparation are on top gear. We are all looking now for the opportunity to once again come in the room and have a conversation about this unending crisis in the region.
Now, Justin, could you tell us why it's important to have this conversation?
This conversation is very important. Just before I come online, I was watching your program where the two gentlemen from the Bloc faction of the PDP were trying to argue who is authentic, who is not, and all of that. And that is what the politicians, that's where the attention of politicians are focused now. The attention is focused on 2027 election, what position are they going to occupy, and all of that. And then less attention is given to the lives of the people that are even going to cast their votes to elect them into offices. And that is why this conversation is very important. We cannot play politics above the life of citizens. And so last August, we were just for this new Central Town Hall meeting. A lot of progress has been made, but then the crisis in just have taken us back in the trenches. And we need to come back and have this conversation and once again say, no, enough of these killings. We must move on. Lives of every Nigerian matter, and we must do everything possible as leaders in our respective rights in this country to see how we can bring an end to this cycle of violence that have refused to leave us over time.
All right. Now let's talk about your organization and what you do about it. The Calabar Independent Peace Committee, TIPC. It's a prominent, independent, multi-stakeholder body working to mediate conflicts, promote reconciliation, and advise the government on security, particularly in response to farmer-headed crisis, violent attacks, and political tensions in Calabar State. And your group has actively worked on IDP resettlement and the peaceful resolution of community disputes. Now, in the course of doing the work that your organization has done, what are some of the reasons you found that have continued to ensure that violence is sustained within the region?
Much. Over time, our work has taught us that peace is not just an absence of conflict, but then it is the presence of justice, trust, and functional institutions. Do we have these three key points in place? Do we have justice and accountability for these killings? Do we have trust among citizens? Do we have functional institutions of government and even at the local level that are active in ensuring that this cycle of violence stops? The answer is no. It's no in the sense that over time, when crises happen, government deploys security. Just at the remedial level, the security go in and try to stop the killings. But the remote causes of these issues are not resolved. And then over and over and over again, time and time again, you will see, because people are not seeing justice, there's no accountability, and there's a trust deficit between the community A and B, or actor A and B. And so it's difficult for them to come together and say, look, let's trash this issue. So government comes in, deploys security, find a way of ending the killings. But then the root causes of what causes killings refuse to go. And that is why you see this cycle of violence repeating. Now, how many people have been arrested? Let's take the Jos incident, for example. The last incident of the last killings in Jos that took place, how many people were arrested? About 6 or 7 were arrested. They are facing prosecution. We want to see accelerated, a trial of these cases, so that people will begin to see that those who perpetrate this crime have actually been brought to book. Go back to the issue of trust. People don't trust each other, and because there is lack of trust between community members, the tendency is that any small thing that can ordinarily be tackled at the local level end up into bloodshed. And that is what has been the bond of all of these killings. Now, we are in a political era. Politicians, we always try to explore these differences, ethnic, religious, and whatever differences they find useful for their own advantage. Now, we must begin to build peace, trust among communities. For example, the problem of Jos, I'm not an authority, I didn't even work well in Jos like that, but we in Calabar State, we have worked closely with communities, and we come to discover that the trust deficit between, for example, a herder and a farmer is at the core of the killings that is going on. A farmer moved into a header moved into a farmland and destroyed the crops. Instead of the farmer, for example, to report to a appropriate authority, most times you will find that criminal elements within the farming communities themselves try to take laws into their hands. And these people, because they are on the move. Okay, they are nomads. They move. They move their cows from point A to point B, hide and come back to attack these communities and destroy it, kill, maim, and destroy. Now, for the local traditional institutions that are on ground, what are their roles? What are they doing to bring those people to book, to bring those people into a discussion on how to end this cycle of violence? Because some of these crises do not just happen overnight.
Okay.
Justin,
people write
okay.
letters.
All right.
Sometimes people write letters and drop that they are coming to attack a particular community. What do we do when we hear this kind of news, or we get intelligence that these people are coming to attack these communities? Sometimes nothing is done about it. Communities are left to cater for themselves. Until crisis broke, people are killed, security are deployed. Once the security are deployed and there's a little peace, the people retrieve. And then they come back again to attack. The main issue that led to that killings have not been addressed. And so, as we move into church, we want to see the local people themselves, the villagers, the headers, those elders, that is the felony leaders, the community leaders of the people on the plateau and the people of Bidube. Let us come to the hall. Let's see government officials come to the hall and be part of the discussion. You cannot provide a solution to an issue that you are not even part of it. So we want, as we move into the town hall meeting on Thursday, we want to see all of these actors into the room so that we have a frank conversation about how we can solve this problem ourselves. Government alone cannot solve this problem. We must take accountability. We must take ownership of these problems because they are happening in the local communities, and we have layers of security protection at the local level. Talk about the vigilante group, the traditional rulers, and opinion leaders in each community. So we must be able to say, look, enough of these killings.
Okay. So the countdown is on. It's just, a few days from now. At the end of the town hall, what are your expectations? What are you expecting to see at the end of the town hall? Maybe in terms of resolutions concerning these conflicts and the likes.
Okay, let me share a scenario with you before I come to my expectation. A few weeks ago, precisely on the 22nd of April, we invited the former governor of Bauchi State, Malam Dr. Ezeugwu. He came into Taraba, and we invited all the Fulani leaders. We had a town hall meeting at the Jolly Nyame Stadium in Jalingo, where we had all the Fulani leaders across Taraba State. We also had the chief leaders across Taraba State because the crisis, the recent crisis in Taraba State, the farmer header conflict between the Fulanis and the chief farming communities in southern Taraba. The Malam Ezeugwu is the president of Tapita Polako International. Tapita Polako is a socio-cultural organization for the Fulani people. Malam Ezeugwu is one respected Nigerian elder statesman that over time has put his life on the line to ensure that we have peace in parts of northern Nigeria. Now, in the hall, the Fulanis were able to openly say their mind as to the causes of the crisis in southern Taraba. And we're able to come to a resolution that first, let the hostility stop the killings, bring the committee from the Fulanis and the Tiv and the Kute farming communities that are affected with this cycle of violence, set up a committee that will monitor the implementation of the resolution reached. I expect that as we go into the town hall meeting on Thursday in Jos, we should be able to identify some key Fulani leaders in this country that are not happy with what is going on in the country. Most of the Fulani leaders felt that the Fulanis are given a bad name. And of course, you will discover that most of this crisis revolves around the herders, and most of these herders are the Fulanis. And so, those who are working towards ensuring that the entire Fulani nation community in Nigeria are not given a bad name are working towards ensuring that we have a change of narrative regarding the killings, the bloodletting that we're having in this country. So going forward, I expect that as we move into Jos on Thursday, the Fulani leaders are going to be in the hall. The Plateau, the community leaders that are going to be in the hall, the traditional rulers, the stakeholders, the government representatives are going to be on the hall. We all agree that, look, we must take accountability. We must take ownership of this crisis and find a lasting solution to it. First, there must be early warning and early response system. It is this kind of approach that will let us understand that, oh, crisis is about to break up here, and then we move in quickly and try to mediate and talk to the parties involved and nail it in the bud, other than allowing it to happen, and then we are now bringing in security personnel to come in and, do a superficial kind of peace mediation. We need to begin to discuss at the grassroots level how the homegrown solutions and how we can end this conflict without necessarily looking up to government. Because at the end of the day, when this crisis happens, government only come to condemn. The government coming to condemn and call the numbers. The numbers we're dealing here with are human beings. The statistics are not just log of wood. The lives that are going, most of the people being killed in this conflict are people that tomorrow will be something great, not just in Nigeria, but in the world. So we must do everything possible to stop these killings.
All right, very quickly, as we wrap up this conversation, do you have details? Can you share details of the upcoming, town hall series as well? A meeting, rather, so that people can be a part of it.
Okay, the town hall meeting is slated for Thursday, May 7th in Jos Plateau State. We have already sent letters of invitation to NGOs, community leaders, government representatives, security agencies, because we know that these actors, these stakeholders, we need to have them in the hall as we have this frank conversation around ending this cycle of bloodshed. Not just in Plateau, we have these killings going on in southern Kaduna, in Benue, in Nasarawa, here in Taraba, and other parts of northern Nigeria. We need to come up with our own homegrown solution. That is why we identified credible individuals and organizations that are working towards finding peace, lasting peace, not just peace, lasting peace that will bring an end to this crisis and allow communities to go back to their normal way of life. Communities that once, before now, share markets, share ceremonies, share marriages, are now, have taken arms against one another. And we must, as a matter of fact, come to the room and say, look, what are the issues? Already we know some of the issues, but as we come into the room, we are going to articulate those issues better and give tasks to individuals to go up there and try to implement, because most times we don't do follow-ups on our resolutions. This time around, this town hall is going to be a different town hall meeting because we are going to set up stop committees that will ensure the implementation of some of the resolution reached. And we're not going to rest on this issue until peace return to Plateau, peace return to Benue, peace return to Taraba, Southern Kaduna, and Nasarawa State.
All right, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We will be following up with the town hall and bringing updates to our audience. And we want to say well done on the work you're doing. And we're hoping for peace in that region sooner than later. Thank you for your time. All right. Now let's bring, as we gradually wind down to the closing of Breakfast Central, let's go through the front pages of this paper, of the newspapers in a moment. You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. On the front pages of the newspapers, starting off with the Al Jazeera newspaper, the big story this morning on the front page of the paper, presidential election, Turaki-led PDP gives women waiver, slams 100 million naira as cost of presidential aspirants' forms. You know, it is
that's massive.
that's sweet. You know, very, very.
That's what?
Massive.
It's massive.
And I was
it's the waiver part. It's the waiver, yes.
Yeah,
women should be encouraged.
Women should be encouraged to
throw their hat in politics.
But what if the CTC says, anyway, the problem is not in the CTC.
I mean, the CTC is actually written in plain English. So maybe I really, Olive will help us read it. Knowing that she's the only one on the
Olive, get ready tomorrow.
She's the only one on the Johansson-led Breakfast Central that is a legal luminary.
We need to stop this.
We're not here one with this Johansson-led one.
Stop this thing.
Okay. Still looking at the front page of Al Jazeera newspaper. 473 pilgrims airlifted as Shetima flags off 2026 Hajj flight. Do we really want to comment on this?
No comment.
I mean, my comment is that the government should not
involve itself in sponsoring.
This is private.
Exactly.
Your religious obligations are between you and God. There are more things that should be your priority to government.
I mean, because by the time you start to look at the amount of resources, and I've said it several times on this show, that anyone who religion is personal. If you desire to go to Mecca, you desire to go to Jerusalem, you should be able to fund that, dream or that desire.
And nobody funds the pilgrimage of atheists or adherents of African traditional religion. Yeah, so it's not all inclusive.
Anyway, still on the front page, oil windfall lifts Nigeria's earnings by 5 trillion naira. Kaduna government reaffirms commitment to press freedom. Makinde-backed PDP inaugurates Turaki, others as interim NWC. 80% of Rivers residents spend income on rent. Is it just Rivers residents? Because if we come back to Lagos, I was just having a conversation with
80%
yesterday
of Rivers residents spend income.
The amount we're seeing in terms of increment of rent in Lagos, there is no regulation whatsoever. If I own a property, I can wake up today and something will just spark in my head and I say, you know what, I'm going to increase my rent by 100%. And there's nothing anyone can do about it.
How do you enforce it? That's the
laws.
It's one thing to speak. It's another thing to have realistic laws.
Or maybe someone who will leave office and it will still not be.
You know what's worse, Joe? If you say you want to, and the sad thing is the demand far outweighs the supply. So much so that if you're upset with your landlord and you say, I'm not going to pay this rent.
There are many people that are waiting.
In fact, there are 5 people. There are people waiting to outpay you just so that they have access to the property. And that's the really sad reality.
Many people are moving outside Lagos State to the border towns, satellite towns in Ogun State. Because of the, Mowe, Bafo, access, because of the exorbitant rents in Lagos. And very soon, when those ones see that there's a huge demand,
their own rents will increase as well.
People will start coming to work from Ilorin every day. You just hear Joe Olive.
Or Ibadan. I'm on the train.
I'm in Jeba right now. Please hold forth for me.
No, but it's funny, but that's what's going to happen. The way we're going.
If something is not done.
Because everybody's blaming it on. Everybody's saying
the government
is not even doing anything.
Public housing is they're
public
more
housing
interested
is
in
gone.
Middle income type of accommodation. They're not building. Look at what Jakande did.
Room, parlor.
Yes, simple, basic
accommodation. Is that what they call room, parlor, self-contained?
Yeah, it should
let's have more of that.
Massive units of that. Quite
all right, still looking at the front page of the newspapers.
The
story there, NNPC records 276 billion naira profit in March as gas production surges.
Wow.
And ex-AGF Aunduaka emerges PDP consensus Benue governorship.
Which PDP?
That's the thing. Which one?
Turaki PDP or?
Actually, not Turaki PDP.
Which of them? Let's see.
The story there says sources within the party revealed that the consensus process followed weeks of consultations involving extensive deliberations among party leaders and key stakeholders. I'm coming on. Prominent figures facilitated the process included the immediate past governor of the state, Mr. Samuel Otom, and Senate Minority Leader, Senator Abba Moro. Others, it says, others are PDP State Chairman, Mr. Ezekiel Adaji, members of the State Executive Committee, the PDP State Assembly Caucus, and as well as influential blocs such as the G14 and G9.
So the former Minister of Justice wants to run against the man of God?
They said the man of God has already given. He's part of the
those who have
endorsed. Part of the people that say yes.
Okay, let's move.
But is he not? Oh, he's in the second term. No.
Actually, I think this is his first term.
This is first term.
Yeah, but
so he should be seeking a re-election.
They said it's consensus now. They said it's consensus. So,
do you know the man of God I'm talking?
Caleb Mushwang.
No.
Sorry,
no.
Reverend Father Hyacinth
Alia. Yeah, of
don't
course,
know that
he's interested in seeking.
He wants to reclaim power from Hyacinth Alia.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yes. Okay, I thought you were saying that he's
Alia is,
he wants to reclaim power from him in 2027. All right, let's move quickly to the Leadership newspaper. On the front page of Leadership newspaper, there's a story there that's really triggered you, and I'll take that story last. Why Obi Kwankwaso left ADC party spokesman. ADC has failed to show how presidential candidate will emerge, Senator Ume says. 11 killed as bandits attack Katsina villages. So sad. Again, APC extends sale submission of forms, adjusts screening timelines. Shareholders and analysts want phased provision in an aggressive recovery. Garo to be sworn in as Kano deputy governor today. Federal government seeks autopsy probe over killing of 2 Nigerians in South Africa. PDP crisis. Wike Makinde camps clash over neck meeting and interim committee. Airlines deaths. Flight disruption looms as ground handlers threaten service withdrawal. So perhaps you can be on leave now.
Whether you like
then
it
you will now call and be like, they did not see flight to. So I'm stranded in the abroad for now. You know, you put
for
just
those who want to
hold
travel
down
anytime soon, they should be ready because one is strike anytime.
And it's okay. You know, I mean,
I wonder why. I mean, back in those days.
Are you saying it's okay?
No, it's not okay.
We had options back in those days. There was shipping lines. You use a boat. You get to Liverpool in 2 weeks. That's your entire leave.
And your issue.
So
NNPC signs MOU with Chinese firms.
That's the biggest.
For Port Harcourt, Warri refineries restart.
It will be a major story here.
Tomorrow
we need to dissect this.
Maybe now that there's Chinese involvement, it might work. Because we've tried it alone. And, you know, the refineries are the proverbial cats with 9 lives. They refuse to die. So maybe this time around.
Some have seen this as a political higi-haga.
Okay, just to excite people.
Just to excite people so that it can be added to the list of the achievements of what has been done by the administration going into the elections.
Because the last...
However, the question is...
refinery.
Yes, why is it now? Secondly, why are they stalling on the former GMD's accusations of missing funds? Where is the 210 trillion naira issue? There are so many questions that have been left unanswered, and then all of a sudden, they deal with the Chinese firm. It's whether you can look at it from the other side that okay, eventually it's looking good, but Nigerians, including myself, I'm speaking right now.
I'm not going to.
I mean, you had journalists who were shouting, "Oh, he's working."
They brought out.
They brought out
Declare.
They were shouting, "Port Harcourt is working. People should go and sit down. It's working." The same journalists, I mean, who are my colleagues, well, maybe anyway, cannot come back now to say it's working. They can't bite their teeth.
They had to report what they gave them.
At that moment, it was working.
Petroleum engineer.
Do you understand?
Put something inside.
At that moment, it was working.
My point is, listen, I like the fact that there's going to be a major conversation.
It produced 2 liters.
But then again, Binga, Nigeria we're known not to have closures on major issues.
And then we just
move on. I think it is a bad omen.
Okay, I need to really go to YouTube quickly and take comments. And I'm so sorry, Nwokunye Chukwuemeka, because even my mom is in a similar position. It's just that hers is not the rent that increase. They just give them quick notice. And that seems to be the aim of these days for landlords. When they want to increase rent, they give you quick notice, tell you they want to work on the property, they, renovate the property, and boom, maybe double the rent. It says, my rent went from 650,000 to 1.5 million. And the landlord finally gave us quick notice. I have 4 months left to find another place. How do people do this, knowing that house hunting in Nigeria is a Herculean task? Olumide Alade says, it beats my imagination that these PDP gladiators fail to consider the younger generation who aspire to become future leaders and help develop our dear country. Instead of preserving the platform, they seem intent on weakening it. The older members of the party appear to be working for its stability and long-term good, while some of those in their 50s are acting in ways that risk dismantling the very structure they inherited. It is difficult to understand how they do not see that their actions, driven by personal interests, are undermining the party itself, constantly engaging in court. And I mean, these are the comments that we can take today. Thank you so much for engaging with us on YouTube. Thank you, Pius, for the kind comment. Thank you, everyone, for joining our YouTube and engaging with us. We always look forward to reading your comments. And thank you to our guests, those who have joined physically, those who have joined virtually, and those who will join us tomorrow. We'll be back again. Of course, we must talk about NNPC tomorrow.
And as we leave,
yes.
just to mention that during one of our interviews, we saw there was almost an altercation. We do not support violence.
We do not support violence in
we
any
hope
way,
that the
shape, or
political
form.
parties get themselves together.
Absolutely. And now we'll wrap up the Johansson-led faction of Breakfast Central. See you tomorrow. Ring the bell.